Abandoned subway entrance. The entryway had already caved in. Several vehicles were parked outside, their long-dead owners reduced to mangled remains. 6 ground owls, 2 black skeletons, and more than a dozen white skeletons labored to dig open the collapsed entrance. Suddenly, an arrow streaked forward, burying itself in a ground owl's forehead. The creature shrieked and whirled around. Before it could spot its attacker, darkness fell over its eyes, and a blade flashed across its neck. The other ground owls and skeletal monsters reacted, but before they could strike back, more arrows came flying. At the same time, machine gun fire crackled, placing precise shots against the white skeletons. The machine gun lacks firepower, Lu Hao thought to himself. Easy to land killing blows on Tier 1 monsters, but against Tier 2 foes it struggles. It cannot match Xiaosu's arrows. I need to upgrade soon. His hands never stilled. After dispatching the white skeletons, he took aim at another ground owl and fired. Firearms excelled in rate of fire, unlike young Xiaosu, who needed time to knock, draw, and release each arrow. Meanwhile, they all witnessed Zhou Ning's combat prowess. She moved like a phantom assassin, her speed surpassing even the ground owls. Shielded by suppressing fire from the machine gun and bow, she unleashed unbridled carnage. Lu Hao and Yang Xiaosu's job was to keep the monsters pinned down, opening opportunities for Zhou Ning to take down ground owls and black skeletons one-on-one. Deprived of terrain advantages, no ground owl could hold out more than 10 rounds against her. Before long, 3 ground owls lay dead. Lu Hao had killed 1 black skeleton and gravely wounded another. Yang Xiaosu's tally was even better. Her arrows packed far greater destructive force. She felled 1 black skeleton and riddled another with so many shafts it resembled a pincushion. Thanks to their coordinated teamwork, all the grotesque creatures before the subway entrance soon collapsed, dropping various supplies. Time to loot. Yang Xiaosu jumped down happily. She gathered all dropped items into one pile and began sorting through them. Food, drinks, fuel and ammunition, over 800 highway credits, 2 vials of primary gene agent. What is this other potion? There is also a strange module, plus a set of tactical garments and scraps of heavy-duty fabric. 8 Tier 2 abominations had yielded quite a haul of valuable loot. Only the tattered fabric fragments felt oddly out of place for the grim scene. Yang Xiaosu and Zhou Ning exchanged glances, then looked toward Lu Hao as he climbed down from his vehicle, a faint awkwardness hanging in the air. No Tier 3 fire seed crystal? Zhou Ning asked. None here. Everything is laid out. I haven't hidden anything. Want to double-check for yourself? Yang Xiaosu replied. Zhou Ning shook her head slightly. No need. She had already scanned the dropped goods and knew no crystal was present, yet she had wanted to confirm once more. Disappointment flickered across her features. It seemed they would have to camp out in the desert tonight. Lu Hao walked over. Glancing past the tattered fabric scraps, he picked up the black module case. Auto-loot module automatically collects items within a 10-meter radius and stores them aboard your vehicle. This is a solid module. No more running back and forth to scavenge bodies. It saves both time and risk, highly practical. Without hiding its function, he tossed the module over to Zhou Ning. Zhou Ning blinked in surprise. After reading its description, she arched an eyebrow. Aren't you afraid I would claim this for myself? This is the most valuable piece among all the drops. There are also 2 primary gene agents and 1 primary mental agent. I could easily keep all of these for my own use. A faint playful smile tugged at her cool, fair-faced features. Lu Hao paused. A primary mental agent? One that boosts mental power. That was exactly what he needed. His talent, fate manipulation, drained mental power. Higher mental capacity would serve him greatly. Keeping his composure, he smiled. I am perfectly capable of hoarding these for myself. At his words, Yang Xiaosu smoothly stepped 2 paces backward, knocking an arrow and drawing her bow to aim directly at Zhou Ning. Zhou Ning's expression turned impassive. Away from our vehicles, you 2 would not stand against me. Lu Hao's gaze hardened. You are welcome to test that. Though she could single-handedly slay Tier 2 ground owls, his overall physical attribute stood at 40. He stood a fighting chance. Even if he lost, fate manipulation would get him out alive. Once he finished his next synthesis and upgrade, he would regain the upper hand. That was his confidence. Then Zhou Ning laughed. Her usual icy demeanor melted away, and her smile bloomed like a flower, carrying a hint of captivating charm. She tossed the auto-loot module back toward him. I already own an auto-loot module, so I have no use for this one. You can have it. Everything else stays mine. Lu Hao was taken aback by her generosity. The auto-loot module was worth more than all the other loot combined. It could even be traded directly for a Tier 3 fire seed crystal. Even in used, It held immense trade value. Zhou Ning already possessed one. She could have snatched every item and fled swiftly on her hover skateboard, yet she had chosen not to. Lu Hao thought for a moment and pulled something out of his inventory. Zhou Ning's eyes widened in shock. A Tier 3 Fire Seed Crystal? You actually have one. Lu Hao smiled. Since you have been so reasonable, I ought to match your gesture. I will give you this Tier 3 Fire Seed Crystal, and all the spoils from this fight become ours. Do we have a deal? Deal? Zhou Ning's eyes lit up. That crystal had been her true goal all along. She had never expected to obtain it through such a bargain instead of monster drops. She glanced at his armored RV, hesitating slightly. Your vehicle is also Tier 2. Are you certain you do not wish to keep the crystal for your upgrade? That is none of your concern. Lu Hao handed the crystal over. Thank you. Zhou Ning accepted it. A twinge of guilt made her draw out one potion vial. You seem to need this. I have an extra. Take it. Primary mental agent? Lu Hao accepted it and smiled. I truly do need this. My thanks. His current mental power was 40. Judging by the amplification of gene agents, each primary mental agent should grant 10 additional mental power points. 2 would raise his mental stat all the way to 60. With that, using fate manipulation would become far less taxing. I am leaving. Zhou Ning gathered her belongings and sped away on her hover skateboard. Lu Hao turned his gaze away. He picked up the auto-loop module, along with 1 primary gene agent and 1 primary mental agent. He then spoke to Yang Xiaosu. Everything else is yours. Consume your primary gene agent as soon as possible to raise your overall physique. Yang Xiaosu nodded readily. Understood, Captain. But we have so many supplies of food and drink. My vehicle cannot carry them all. Store the excess aboard my RV for now. All the highway credits go to you. Lu Hao told her. Thank you, Captain. Yang Xiaosu immediately said about transferring goods, hauling them onto the armored RV. Watching her bustling about, Lu Hao spoke suddenly. Later we will hunt abominations. The first Tier 3 Fire Seed Crystal we find is yours. Yang Xiaosu froze mid-movement. Really? That would be amazing. Elated, she worked even faster. Wait right here for me, Captain. I will go fetch my vehicle. All right. Lu Hao smiled faintly. Once she departed, his eyes swept over the scattered wreckage. 9 vehicles lay abandoned in total. Among them sat an intact Tier 2 heavy excavator. Funny how excavators keep crossing my path. My first upgrade came from a medium excavator, and now this Tier 2 heavy one. This should push my armored RV straight to Tier 3. Without hesitation, he fed all the wrecks into the synthesis system. Conditions for Tier 3 upgrade satisfied. Proceed with synthesis. Surplus materials after synthesis. Additional vehicle modules may be installed. Not quite yet. There is another Tier 2 vehicle nearby. Lu Hao drove to where Huang Feilong's sports car lay overturned. Detecting synthesizable vehicle, Tier 2 super sports car 40% damage sustained. Surplus materials after synthesis. You may select 3 out of 5 available vehicle module upgrades. Intelligent assisted driving system. Hands-free operation, voice command control. Upgrade roof-mounted machine gun module. Light machine gun, KPV-14. 5mm anti-material heavy machine gun. Effective range 3,000 meters, damage value 150. Comes with 1,200 rounds of ammunition and titanium gun turret plating. Titanium alloy bulldozer blade for vehicle front. Combat drone module. 3 small suicide combat drones, each fitted with a 500-gram warhead. Full vehicle premium interior system. Genuine leather seats. Enhanced rest quarters. Central air conditioning. Fresh air circulation. Kitchen. Wash bath facilities. Entertainment suite. Seeing the premium interior option pop up again made Lu Hao sigh inwardly. Why is it so fixated on fancy interiors? Is this only here to fill out the list? Still, the remaining 4 options gave him much to ponder. Autonomous driving would be convenient. No need for constant manual steering during long journeys. The bulldozer blade also sounds useful, smashing through obstacles in our path. After careful consideration, he ruled out the bulldozer blade. Obstacles could simply be avoided. His anti-gravity hover module was more than capable. The heavy machine gun held far greater practical value. This was the KPV heavy machine gun, 14.5mm caliber, larger than a Barrett sniper rifle. Where the Barrett excelled at precision long-range strikes, the KPV delivered devastating continuous suppressing fire. Its single rounds punched through 40mm steel plate. A single burst could wreck an armored vehicle. Pure Soviet-style, overwhelming firepower. Number 2 is non-negotiable. I will also pick option 4, the drone module. Though only 3 drones were provided, they boasted high mobility and considerable firepower. Each 500-gram warhead packed the destructive force of TNT, capable of demolishing armored vehicles and fortified positions. Once his module choices were confirmed, the Tier 2 armored RV began its transformation. Parts disassembled and reassembled in a dazzling flurry. A far larger, wilder-looking heavy-duty armored RV materialized. 7 meters in total length, it rode on 2 front tires and 4 rear tires. Its silhouette resembled an Armadillo cross-country heavy-duty motorhome. Body, blue titanium alloy plating. Defensive strength tripled. Windows, Starhusk ballistic glass. Withstands 3 successive hits from large-caliber armor-piercing rounds. Tires, graphene nanocrystal rubber ballistic tires. Tolerant to 300-degree heat, self-repairing upon sustaining damage. Every system has been comprehensively upgraded. A satisfied grin spread across Liu Hao's face as he opened his vehicle status panel. Vehicle, heavy-duty armored RV. Trait, infinite synthesis divine rank, unique tier, 3. Tonnage, 24 tons. Interior volume, 30 cubic meters. Defense, 100 plus 80. 100 represents baseline tier, 3 vehicle defense. 80 bonus from blue titanium plating. Easily withstands assaults from tier 3 abominations. Water tank, infinity fuel tank. 1200 L, 4000 km maximum range vehicle modules. Blue titanium armor plating. KPV anti-material heavy machine gun, 1200 rounds. Nanocrystal rubber tires. Infinite water tank. Anti-gravity hover, auto loot. Liu Hao circled his new tier 3 heavy-duty RV. He drank 1 primary gene agent and 1 primary mental agent. Then he pulled up his personal status interface. Name, Liu Hao. Account balance, 308. Overall physique, 60 strength, agility, defense, mental power, 60 60ths. Transcendent talents, vehicle symbiosis, fate manipulation, gene lock. Unopened, inventory, Desert Eagle, transcendent talent blind box. Every time his vehicle rose a tier, Liu Hao unlocked 1 new S rank or higher transcendent talent. I hope this grants me a combat-oriented talent. I have grown tired of only fighting from safety inside the RV, he thought. Open the blind box. At his mental command, the box dissolved into light and merged into his body. Obtained SS rank transcendent talent, Gun Fu. Gun Fu Tier 1. Integrates shooting and hand-to-hand combat. Doubles moving shot accuracy. Doubles dynamic visual perception, enabling prediction of enemy movement trajectories. Neural reaction speed doubled for faster evasive maneuvers. Gun Fu. Truly a combat-focused talent. I wonder if I will eventually be able to make bullets curve. Liu Hao drew his Desert Eagle pistol. He tossed a stone high into the air. With his 60-point physique, the rock soared 100 meters upward. He raised his pistol, aimed, and pulled the trigger. Every movement flowed seamlessly, as if honed through years of instinctive training. The bullet sliced through the air and struck the falling stone dead. Center. Liu Hao felt a surge of excitement. He picked up another stone. Again. Bang. Again. Bang. He hurled stones from varying angles and fired shot after shot. Even at the Desert Eagle's maximum effective range, every bullet found its mark. This is only marksmanship. I need an opportunity to test Gun Fu's melee combat applications. He ejected the magazine and slowly reloaded ammunition. Back inside the RV, he retrieved 3 compatible magazines and dozens of spare rounds from storage and stowed them on his person. Gun Fu Tier 1, 7/500ths proficiency. Reach 500 to advance to Tier 2. Gun Fu has 5 total tiers. Each hit grants 1 proficiency point. If I have enough ammunition, can I level this endlessly? Liu Hao mused. He suspected reality would not be quite so simple. Tier 1 already demanded 500 successful hits. Tier 2 would likely require far more. It occurred to him that Yang Xiaosu's archery must function under a similar proficiency gain system. What kind of transcendent talent does Zhou Ning possess? A voice called out from outside. Captain, is that your vehicle? Captain, is that your vehicle? Yang Xiaosu called out tentatively. It is mine. Come inside and take a look. Liu Hao replied with a smile. Wow, it really is yours. How did it get so huge? Did you upgrade it to Tier 3? Wonder filled Yang Xiaosu's voice. She circled the heavy-duty RV before climbing into the cabin. Whoa, so much more space. The kitchen is bigger, the sofas are larger, and the bed, ahem. Liu Hao chuckled. This is now the heavy-duty armored RV. Its defensive and offensive capabilities have improved drastically. Hunting Tier 2 abominations will be far easier. Before long we will acquire another Tier 3 Fireseed Crystal to upgrade your off-roader. Right. Yang Xiaosu nodded vigorously, her gaze drifting toward the washbath area. Liu Hao noticed. He tapped her lightly on the head. The bathroom is also larger. Focus on our work for now, and tonight you can take a long, thorough shower for as long as you wish. Yang Xiaosu's eyes lit up. Really? As long as I want. Really? Lu Hao confirmed. She beamed happily, then frowned thoughtfully. But I should not waste too much water. Lu Hao chose not to reveal the infinite water tank feature. All right, we press onward. The sandstorm will catch up to us otherwise. You drive out ahead. Alert me when you spot any abominations. Understood. Yang Xiaosu returned to her off-road vehicle. Instead of following paved roads, they traveled cross-country across the desert, searching for threats. 100 kilometers later, Yang Xiaosu spotted a wandering black skeleton. Captain, look. She halted her vehicle dozens of meters away. I will handle this. Perfect chance to practice. Lu Hao climbed onto the roof and raised his pistol. Bang! The bullet struck the black skeleton squarely in the forehead. A single Desert Eagle round was not enough to kill it outright. Enraged, the monster brandished its great blade and charged forward. Lu Hao remained calm, firing shot after shot, every round slamming into the creature's skull. Every bullet lands on exactly the same spot. Captain, your marksmanship is incredible. Yang Xiaosu stared in awe. Even with her archery skill, maintaining such accuracy against a fast-moving target would prove difficult. Yet Lu Hao kept landing perfect headshots while the black skeleton sprinted toward him. In an instant, Lu Hao emptied his magazine. He pulled a fresh magazine from his pocket, slammed it home, and resumed firing. 2 more shots rang out. He sensed one final well-placed bullet would finish the monster. Before squeezing the trigger, he activated his talent. Transcendent talent. Fate manipulation. Bang! The bullet cut through the air and slammed precisely into the indentation on the skeleton's cranium. The black skeleton's charge halted. Its bones clattered and scattered across the sand. It was dead. Mental power, 50-60. Gun, Fu Tier, 1, 15/500. That was amazing. Yang Xiaosu clapped her hands, her gaze full of admiration for Lu Hao. It's a fire, seed crystal, and lots of highway coins, plus a whole chicken. A level 2 monster actually drops this much loot. She quickly jumped down from the vehicle and scrambled to gather up the spoils. 8 level 2 anomalous creatures at the subway exit hadn't yielded a single fire, seed crystal, so getting one from just this foe filled her with delight. Captain, look. We've got chicken to eat, she exclaimed happily. Lu Hao leaped down from the roof of the truck and glanced at the vacuum, sealed frozen whole chicken. Looks like we really are having chicken for dinner tonight. Put it in the fridge first. Got it. Yang Xiaosu was overjoyed. It occurred to her that ever since she joined up with Lu Hao as her captain, this end of the road survival experience hardly felt like a doomsday struggle. It was more like an easy, smooth road trip. No more constant fear. No more worrying about food, supplies, or gear. She even got to take nice hot showers. Having the right person to follow made all the difference. The chicken's in the fridge. Here are 460 highway coins. Yang Xiaosu transferred the coins over. Lu Hao accepted them. Account balance, 768. We've got the Tier 3 fire, seed crystal now. Go upgrade your vehicle to Tier 3, he said. All right. Yang Xiaosu took a deep breath, walked over to her off-road SUV, and slotted the crystal into its socket. Almost at once, the SUV began to shift and reconstruct itself. Moments later, the vehicle had taken on a brand new form. Yang Xiaosu stood nearby and inspected every change. The tires are much bigger, bulletproof ones. Side steps have been added. The whole body is plated with alloy steel armor, paired with bullet-proof glass. There's a heavy alloy steel crash bar on the front. The fuel tank's capacity has doubled. Interior cabin space has expanded a little, and there's a crossbow turret module mounted on the roof. She glanced toward Lu Hao's heavy-duty motorhome and could not help feeling confused. Why is there such a big gap even though both are Tier 3 vehicles? This is the standard loadout for a Tier 3 vehicle. Mine is a special case. Lu Hao circled the car and patted the tires, which stood taller than he did. These must be 2 meters in diameter. What's the body defense rating? 105 defense points, Yang Xiaosu replied. What about the crossbow turret's attack power? Lu Hao asked next. 120 attack power, effective range of 800 meters. It comes with 12 explosive bolts. Each hit stacks 60 points of explosive damage, and 3 consecutive hits trigger a burst of 300 explosive damage total. Yang Xiaosu explained. Lu Hao looked pleasantly surprised. Stacked explosive damage? That's really quite formidable. His own KPV heavy machine gun boasted longer range and 150 single-shot damage. Still, against heavily armored foes such as tank-style monsters, it might struggle to break through tough defenses. By contrast, Yang Xiaosu's turret could unleash that 300-point explosive burst with just 3 well-placed shots. That makes it perfect for fighting boss-grade monsters. Don't fire it casually under normal circumstances, understood? Lu Hao warned. Understood. Yang Xiaosu nodded obediently. All right, Captain. Remember that set of clothing we picked up earlier? It was too big for me, and the style isn't really my taste. It would suit Sister Zhou Ning really well. Can I give it to her if we run into her later? She seems really nice. Lu Hao asked casually. What kind of clothes are they? A black formal dress, Yang Xiaosu answered, slightly awkward. Lu Hao pictured how Zhou Ning would look wearing it. Captain? Captain! Yang Xiaosu called twice, pulling him back from his thoughts. Lu Hao cleared his throat. Ahem. Well, give it to her if we cross paths. That sounds fine. Yang Xiaosu blinked. Okay. Lu Hao smiled in satisfaction. All right, let's get back on the road. Keep the air conditioning running inside. We've got plenty of fuel, no need to conserve. Got it. The two kept driving across the desert. They encountered no more anomalous creatures for the next 200+ kilometers. With autopilot active, Lu Hao headed into the cabin, sipped an iced drink, and browsed the public chat channel. He checked the player count. Survivors, 12,356/100,000. Out of 100,000 players, barely more than 10,000 remained in less than 2 days. For most people, this place was pure hell. Among the survivors, only a handful were lucky. Most had adapted and grown significantly stronger. Will the casualty rate slow down now, or will we see another huge wave of deaths once we enter the first instance? Lu Hao wondered. He was curious about Gold Dust Town. Its name did not sound particularly lethal, yet it might hold cruel hidden mechanics. Wait, multiple players have already upgraded their vehicles to Tier 3, and they're faster than us. Congratulations to player Li Qiandong for being the first to upgrade a vehicle to Tier 3. Reward, 500 highway coins. Players in the chat channel were discussing Li Qiandong. Li Qiandong's vehicle is a Tier 3 tank. His Road Tyrant Alliance already has 200 members. Great Alliance perks. New recruits get free fuel, food, and water. Any fellow members online? Tell us if this is real. I just joined. It's all true. Come join the Road Tyrant Alliance. What's so great about Road Tyrant? Red Blossom Society is way better, lots of female players, and our leader also has a Tier 3 vehicle. I'm heading over right now. Join the Highway Outlaw Gang. Live freely and fight for whatever we want. The Cyber Iron Riders only recruit motorbike riders. We ride and fight to build our biker empire. New players, let's band together. Strength in numbers. We won't be exploited. Grow low. Key and surprise everyone. DM me if you're interested. Scrolling through channel messages, Lu Hao counted more than 20 factions and teams that had sprung up, all actively recruiting new members. 5 factions possessed leaders with Tier 3 vehicles. The largest group, Road Tyrant Alliance, Red Blossom Society, known for its many female members, the Cyber Iron Riders for bikers, the Ruthless Highway Outlaw Gang. There was also a low-profile unnamed group that controlled 2 Tier 3 vehicles. Faction formation meant resources were being gathered and concentrated in the hands of the powerful. The strong would keep growing stronger. Before long, more Tier 3 and even Tier 4 vehicles would likely appear. Lu Hao felt no pressure. He had no intention of joining any existing faction. At most, he would assemble a small team of his own and gather resources in his own way. He scrolled further and found threads mentioning Gold Dust Town. Information was scarce. Some players had entered the town, yet no word came back from them. Factions had sent scouts inside, but those scouts also vanished without sending reports. It was as though the town was cut off from the outside world. Many players hesitated to go near it. There's nowhere else to go further ahead. It's like unfinished map territory, nothing but thick fog beyond the town. We'll have to go in eventually. The sandstorm won't wait for anyone. It's forcing everybody inside. Gold Dust Town is definitely dangerous, Lu Hao thought to himself. At the sandstorm's current pace, it will reach this area tomorrow. Everyone will be pushed into this instance. Quite a few Tier 3 vehicles are roaming around now. If large-scale fighting breaks out inside, my advantages will be limited. Upgrading to Tier 4 will most likely require sacrificing Tier 3 vehicles as crafting material. But Tier 3 vehicles mostly belonged to organized factions. Obtaining one quickly would not be easy. My top priority right now should be improving my physical condition. Ideally, I'll unlock the first gene lock and raise gun food to its second level as much as possible. At that moment, Yang Xiaosu's voice came over the vehicle intercom. Captain, dusk is falling. We're less than 100 kilometers from Gold Dust Town. Should we keep driving? Lu Hao glanced out at the dimming landscape. Find a spot to set up camp and rest. Tonight we'll have chicken stew with potatoes. Yay, I'll cook. Yang Xiaosu cheered. Night fell, and the desert temperature plummeted. Several kilometers away, a campfire flickered against the barren wasteland. Zhou Ning stared at her newly upgraded Tier 3 hover, bored with a hint of frustration. She had started with an ordinary skateboard, which had turned into a hover board at Tier 2. Even at Tier 3, it was still just a board. It was larger now, able to fly higher, move faster, and travel farther on a single charge. Machine gun modules had been mounted on both sides to make up for its original lack of firepower. Mobility and combat capacity had improved greatly. Still, it offered zero practical living space functions. Well, at least it could serve as a makeshift bed. Thankfully, its Tier 3 upgrade brought an auto-follow feature. Otherwise, she would have had no easy way to carry it. She pulled 2 sausages from her backpack and roasted them slowly over the flames. Her thoughts turned to finding a Tier 4 fire seed crystal. I envy that player Lu Hao. His huge armored motorhome must have a proper bedroom, kitchen, and shower. The thought of a shower made her feel grimy. 2 full days without a hot bath weighed heavily on her mind. Just then beams of light appeared in the distance. Zhou Ning tensed up, fully alert and ready for combat. 2 vehicles were approaching. One was an oversized tire-off road SUV, the other a heavy-duty truck. That heavy-duty vehicle looks like Lu Hao's armored motorhome, though this one seems even heavier. The heavy truck's heavy machine gun rotated, aiming straight at her. Shocked, Zhou Ning jumped to her feet and braced for battle. Meanwhile, a figure popped up from the roof of the SUV beside the truck, drawing and knocking a crossbow bolt. Zhou Ning stared. Isn't that the young girl who travels with Lu Hao, Yang Xiaosu? Yang Xiaosu lowered her crossbow, sounding delighted. Captain, it's Sister Zhou Ning. So it's her. Lu Hao deactivated the machine gun's targeting system. The motorhome pulled to a gentle stop a short distance from the campfire. Yang Xiaosu hopped down from the SUV. Sister Zhou Ning. What a coincidence. Your hover board got even bigger. It looks so cool. Though meant as a compliment, the remark stung a little. Zhou Ning glanced enviously at the 2 vehicles. Your rides are the ones that are truly impressive. Lu Hao walked over and sat beside the campfire. He held out several skewers of raw beef. Mind if we share your fire for some open-air barbecue? Help yourselves to chili powder and cumin. These food supplies were all drops from anomalous monsters. Loot variety kept expanding. Lu Hao jokingly wondered whether he would one day find pre-cooked dishes among the drops. Barbecue. Yang Xiaosu held her skewers over the flames and carefully roasted them. When one skewer was ready, she bit off a piece to test it, then handed the rest to Lu Hao. Captain, it's done. Try it. Thanks. Lu Hao took a bite and nodded approvingly. Not bad at all. Right. Yang Xiaosu passed another skewer over to Zhou Ning. Sister Zhou Ning, have some. The savory aroma tempted Zhou Ning. After a moment's hesitation, she accepted it. Raw meat was a rare resource she had never looted herself. Lu Hao spoke up. Would you mind telling me what your overall physical stat is right now? He had seen Zhou Ning fight. She was clearly formidable. Beyond high base stats, she almost certainly possessed a high-tier supernatural ability. Zhou Ning paused mid-chew, then answered honestly. 100. Wow, max value. Yang Xiaosu's eyes went wide. That's incredible. Mine's only 20. She subtly shifted backward, feeling completely outmatched beside such a powerful fighter. I've only just hit the passing mark, Lu Hao said with a faint laugh. It explained how she had single-handedly killed the level 2 burrow owl. Her physical stats were truly extraordinary. On top of that, her close-quarters combat technique pointed toward a combat-focused supernatural ability. 100 isn't the true maximum, Zhou Ning explained. My progress has stalled. Primary gene potions no longer work on me. The gene lock. Lu Hao guessed. Zhou Ning nodded slightly. Most likely. I need higher-grade potions, or some special item, to break through and unlock the first gene lock. Thank you for telling me. That information is very valuable to us, Lu Hao said. Zhou Ning simply nodded and kept eating. Night had fully descended. The temperature dropped close to 0. Cold desert winds howled like monstrous cries. In this vast wasteland, only that single dancing campfire offered warmth. Firelight flickered across the 3 faces gathered around it. The few skewers were soon finished, nowhere near enough to fill their stomachs. Yang Xiaosu could not stop thinking about the chicken stew waiting to be prepared. All right, Sister Zhou Ning, this is for you. She hurried to the vehicle and fetched the dress. Thank you. Zhou Ning accepted it, then turned toward Lu Hao. Could I use the shower on your motorhome? I can pay you highway coins. Sure, Lu Hao agreed readily. He simply wanted to offer a chance for someone stranded in the desert to clean up. Come on board. He opened the motorhome's door. Zhou Ning had not expected such a quick reply. Doubt crept over her. Climbing onto a stranger's vehicle left her completely vulnerable. Actually, maybe I shouldn't. Yang Xiaosu grabbed her arm and pulled her forward. Sister Zhou Ning, come on. The shower is huge, and the hot water feels amazing. Don't worry, the captain is trustworthy. Zhou Ning studied Lu Hao's features, trying to see proof of that trustworthiness. Her longing for a proper hot shower, fresh clothes, and a comfortable place to rest finally won out. Once she stepped inside the motorhome, Zhou Ning was stunned. It resembled a neat, cozy living space. Wooden flooring, large sofas, a full-size bed, a cooking counter, warm lighting, and heating carrying a faint pleasant scent. Stepping in from the harsh desert felt like entering another world. What tier is your vehicle? She asked in disbelief. Tier 3. Lu Hao set 2 mugs of warm milk on the table. Tier 3. Zhou Ning let out a bitter smile. Why could 2 Tier 3 vehicles be so vastly different? He had a heavy-duty armored motorhome fitted with heavy machine guns, a comfortable bedroom, climate control, and every living amenity. All she had was an enlarged flying metal board. Sister Zhou Ning, here are slippers. Yang Xiaosu handed her a pair. Ah, thank you. Zhou Ning changed into them. Have some warm milk. Thanks. She sipped the milk and watched Yang Xiaosu start preparing dinner. For a split second, she felt as though she were back in the old days, living with close friends. Training had been tough, yet life had felt good. Lu Hao drew his Desert Eagle pistol, pulling her back to reality. Don't be alarmed. I'm just cleaning it. It's unloaded. Go ahead and take your shower, Lu Hao said as he wiped down the weapon. Maintaining his firearms was essential for Gun Fu. Zhou Ning quickly offered, let me pay you first. Would 10 highway coins be enough? Lu Hao kept cleaning without looking up. No charge. Shower as long as you like, plenty of hot water. No payment at all. Suspicion lingered in her mind. What was he after? I'm just tired of seeing you covered in desert grime, Lu Hao said, seeming to read her thoughts. Go wash off all that dust. Zhou Ning froze. Seeing the detached magazine resting on the table reassured her that he meant no harm. Yang Xiaosu giggled. Go on, Sister Zhou Ning. I already showered here, and the captain never caused me any trouble. Zhou Ning still felt uneasy. After all, she was not part of his team. Still hesitant, she walked toward the bathroom. The bathroom was spacious, roughly 3 square meters. Body wash, shampoo, and clean towels sat neatly arranged. After carefully checking the room, she undressed and turned on the shower tap. The warm water flowing over her skin brought her immense relief. All her hardships faded for that moment. Nothing mattered more than the simple joy of a hot shower. Outside the bathroom, Yang Xiaosu chopped up the chicken. She glanced toward the closed door and asked softly, Captain, will we have enough water? Lu Hao smiled. Once she's done, you can go next. This vehicle has an infinite water tank. Yang Xiaosu's eyes widened. The one you can get from the lottery machine? That's right. I got lucky on a draw, Lu Hao answered. That's such an amazing piece of good fortune. Yang Xiaosu could barely believe it. She had wasted large amounts of coins on the lottery and gotten nothing, while Lu Hao had quietly obtained an infinite water tank. No wonder you never worry about running out of water. Still, we shouldn't waste it unnecessarily, Lu Hao reminded her. Got it. Excited at the prospect of another thorough hot shower, Yang Xiaosu threw herself into cooking. Soon all the ingredients were prepped and simmering in the pot. At that moment, the bathroom door opened, and Zhou Ning stepped out. Yang Xiaosu walked out wearing a sexy maid outfit. Lu Hao's gaze fell on her. He thought to himself that she really looked nice in this outfit. She had even put on black stockings. This girl was growing more and more thoughtful. Sensing Lu Hao's stare, Yang Xiaosu's face flushed bright red. She scurried forward in small, flustered steps. I'm going to check if the chicken is done. Zhou Ning wore a strange expression. She glanced at Yang Xiaosu, then at Lu Hao, almost blurting out that the two of them certainly had interesting hobbies. A maid outfit. This guy had quite the peculiar taste. Then she wondered if her own outfit was also due to his personal preferences. Ahem. Lu Hao looked somewhat embarrassed and explained. It's not what you're thinking. Given our current survival circumstances, we should be grateful just to have clothes to wear. Look, I don't even have any new clothes for myself. Zhou Ning thought it over. That made sense. This was highway survival. Supplies spawned randomly, and there was little room for choice. Xiaosu, throw the dirty clothes into the washing machine, Lu Hao said. Understood, Captain. Yang Xiaosu gathered her and Zhou Ning's dirty garments, loaded them into the washing machine, and pressed the start button. Next, she carried the pot over to the dining table, served bowls of rice, and called out, Time for dinner. Eat up. I portioned you some rice. Make yourself at home. Lu Hao said as he stood up and gestured to Zhou Ning. Zhou Ning felt a little guilty. A hot shower plus a warm home cooked meal. This was practically luxury treatment in this end of the road survival world. I should pay you some highway credits. I'd feel bad eating for free. Lu Hao smiled. If you really want to repay me, spar with me after we finish eating. Spar doing what? Zhou Ning blinked in confusion. Lu Hao set a bowl of rice down in front of her and smiled. Hand-to-hand combat. Oh. Zhou Ning hesitated briefly before taking the bowl. Very well. Dinner time. Captain, here are your chopsticks. Yang Xiaosu could barely hold back her excitement. Thanks for your hard work, Lu Hao said, picking up a piece of chicken and dropping it into her bowl. Thank you, Captain. Yang Xiaosu happily began eating. Seeing how harmoniously the pair got along, Zhou Ning relaxed. She took a bite of fragrant rice, then a mouthful of well-braised chicken and soft tender potatoes. Every cell in her body seemed to light up with joy. This is so delicious, she sniffled, then ate heartily just like Lu Hao and Yang Xiaosu. Before long, the big pot of chicken stew with potatoes was completely finished by the three of them. I'm stuffed. Yang Xiaosu rubbed her stomach and stood up to clear the table. Owing to the meal she had eaten, Zhou Ning helped out as well. The two busied themselves by the kitchen counter. Lu Hao watched the two young women, one in a maid uniform with black stockings, the other in a fitted low-cut dress. They had completely different styles, yet both were stunningly beautiful. Just watching them was a pleasant sight. After a while, Zhou Ning walked over. All right, let's do that spar now. Fine. Do you mind if I bring a handgun? Lu Hao pulled out a Desert Eagle. Zhou Ning looked confused. I thought we were doing hand-to-hand combat. I practice gun fu, Lu Hao replied. Zhou Ning froze. She was familiar with gun fu, not because she used it herself, but because it reminded her of someone. I'll unload the bullets first so nobody gets hurt by accident, Lu Hao added. Zhou Ning snapped back to reality and gave a confident smirk. There's no need. You won't hit me. With that, she stepped down out of the RV. Lu Hao's eyes traced her figure beneath her short skirt. Then he smiled and emptied the magazine anyway. The two walked over beside the bonfire. Yang Xiaosu sat on the step at the RV's doorway. Go for it, Captain. After a short pause, she added, You too, Sister Zhou Ning. Cold wind blew, and the bonfire flames flickered. Their shadows shifted constantly across the ground. Zhou Ning assumed a simple fighting stance. Come on. All right. Lu Hao nodded, took a deep breath, and recalled gun fu combat techniques in his mind. Then he drew and fired. Click. Zhou Ning flinched. She instinctively dodged. Only then did she realize the gun held no live rounds. If it had been loaded, the shot would have whizzed right past her scalp. A chill ran down her spine. She now understood why Lu Hao had used an empty gun. Observing his smooth, lightning, fast draw, and trigger squeeze, Zhou Ning grew fully focused. Lu Hao fired a second time. Having anticipated the move, Zhou Ning evaded again and charged forward. In the blink of an eye, their distance shrank drastically. People said guns ruled beyond 3 steps, and fists ruled within 3 steps. Lu Hao disagreed. He believed a gun could be deadly even up close. Yet Zhou Ning's close quarters skill outmatched his. Before he could fire, her elbow knocked his firearm, wielding wrist aside, and her other hand struck toward him. At the same moment, Zhou Ning ducked low and vanished from his line of sight. Lu Hao's eyes widened. Powerful force slammed into his waist, and he lost his balance entirely. Zhou Ning tackled him from behind, and he crashed onto the ground. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Ow! One arm locked around his neck while strong, firm legs wrapped around his torso. A ground grapple hold. Lu Hao had not expected her to open with such a devastating move. You lose, Zhou Ning's cool voice spoke beside his ear. Not yet. Lu Hao still gripped his pistol. Twisting his wrist, he pressed the barrel against her thigh. The cold metal made Zhou Ning loosen her grip slightly. Surprise showed on her face. You can still hold on to your weapon? If I lost my gun, I would stand even less of a chance against you. Lu Hao grunted with effort. Zhou Ning released him. Your gun wasn't loaded. That gave me an unfair advantage. You didn't draw your blade either, Lu Hao said as he sat up. Let's continue. Load real bullets this time. Don't hold back on my account, Zhou Ning said seriously. Lu Hao thought for a moment. Very well. Stay sharp. He loaded ammunition, and the two separated once more. Zhou Ning stared intently at him. Shoot. Lu Hao looked oddly taken aback, but he moved fast and feinted a shot. Zhou Ning saw through the bluff and rushed forward, ducking low. Instead of staying planted, Lu Hao slid sideways to create distance. Back and forth beside the bonfire they went, dodging and weaving. Lu Hao pulled the trigger repeatedly, yet Zhou Ning evaded every shot. Whenever she closed in, they exchanged blows, and Lu Hao scrambled to create space to avoid being grappled again. For a time, neither gained the upper hand. Wow, Captain is amazing, and Sister Zhou Ning is incredible too. Yang Xiaosu cupped her chin, watching in awe. Gunshots echoed out across the desert wasteland. A wandering white skeleton crept closer, preparing to ambush the two distracted fighters. Bang! Whoosh! A bullet smashed into its skull, followed immediately by an arrow striking the exact same spot. The white skeleton was only a low-level monster. It could not withstand such combined attacks, and shattered to pieces. Yang Xiaosu trotted over, then returned to the RV step, holding a bottle of beer and a pack of spicy strips. Nice, monsters drop snacks and drinks. She merrily munched away, alternating bites of spicy strips and sips of beer while watching the fight unfold. Life in highway survival could actually be pretty great. Back beside the bonfire, Zhou Ning closed in once more and pinned Lu Hao to the ground. His pistol had been knocked away, and he tapped the ground to concede defeat. Again, Lu Hao was fired up. Several minutes passed. Ow! Again. He climbed back to his feet. His stamina was nearly spent, yet his understanding of gun-fu deepened significantly. Zhou Ning panted softly. The way she looked at Lu Hao had completely changed, but she showed no sign of backing down. Can you keep this up? Lu Hao asked. Zhou Ning adjusted her dress and replied in her usual cool tone. This level of exertion used to be part of my daily routine. Oh, Lu Hao smiled faintly. He took the initiative to attack this time. Another round of fierce fighting ensued. At one point he managed to pin her beneath him, but before he could aim his pistol, she twisted free and locked him in a hold. His overall stats trailed hers by 40 full points, and her combat technique was far superior. Completely drained, Lu Hao relaxed his muscles and gasped. I'm done for. Zhou Ning wore a strange look. Then get up. She still held him in a side, mount grapple. In combat she cared nothing for positioning, but now that the fight was over, she grew self-conscious at their close physical contact. All right, I'm getting up. Lu Hao forced himself upright and held out a hand. Thanks. Hope I didn't wear you out. Zhou Ning's gaze fixed on his outstretched palm, and for a moment, she drifted off into thought. Someone had once held out their hand to her just like this, but that person had vanished without a trace. Perhaps they too had ended up in this strange world. What's wrong? Lu Hao asked. Zhou Ning snapped back to the present and said softly, Nothing, just remembering an old friend. She took his hand and stood, adjusting her dress. Lu Hao let out a helpless laugh. Wait a minute. I'm a man, and I remind you of an old friend? That doesn't quite add up. Zhou Ning's lips twitched, and she burst out laughing. Her smile was like a cool lotus blooming, breathtakingly beautiful. Lu Hao stared for a second. You look really nice when you smile. You ought to do it more often instead of keeping that cold expression. Her smile faded. She shook her head and said nothing. You're covered in sweat and dirt. Go take another shower. I have spare bathrobes inside, Lu Hao suggested. All right, Zhou Ning answered. They walked back toward the RV. Yang Xiaosu was slumped over on the step, fast asleep, with an empty beer bottle and spicy strip wrappers beside her. Lu Hao chuckled. This girl got drunk off just one bottle? Yang Xiaosu suddenly lifted her head. Her cheeks were flushed, and her eyes were unfocused. I'm not drunk. I just can't hold my liquor very well. Captain, are you two finished sparring? She staggered to her feet. We're done. Let's get inside. Lu Hao steadied her, and together with Zhou Ning they climbed into the RV. The door slid shut, blocking out the cold wind and blowing sand. Bathrobes are in the wardrobe, Lu Hao told her. Zhou Ning nodded, grabbed one, and stepped into the bathroom. Lu Hao guided Yang Xiaosu over onto the sofa. Half asleep, she mumbled softly. Captain, I'm so glad I have you. I don't fear anything anymore. We'll always be teammates, right? Right? We will, Lu Hao said gently. That's good. Yang Xiaosu smiled, then slumped against his chest and fell asleep. Warm air circulated inside the RV. Water ran from the bathroom shower. Holding the warm, sleepy girl in his arms, Lu Hao checked his gun-fu skill progress. Gun-fu tier 1, 108/500. He was pleasantly surprised. Real, world sparring gives such huge gains. Beforehand it had only been 15 to 500. Fighting Zhou Ning had pushed it up enormously. I should keep training with her more often, he trailed off. No, I shouldn't push her too hard. I'll practice shooting on my own instead. After a while, Zhou Ning stepped out of the bathroom, steam curling off her skin. Seeing Lu Hao holding the sleeping Yang Xiaosu, she hesitated and walked toward the door. I'll head out. Are you planning to sleep outside? You can stay here for the night. You worked hard sparring with me. Think of it as my thanks, Lu Hao offered. Zhou Ning glanced over. No, I don't want to intrude on you two. Lu Hao realized what she was implying and laughed. It's not like that. He laid Yang Xiaosu flat on the sofa and pressed a button on its side. The sofa unfolded smoothly into a full-sized bed. There's plenty of room for both of you. You two get some rest. I'm going outside to practice shooting. He opened a storage cabinet, grabbed several firearms and ammunition, slid open the door, and stepped out. Zhou Ning stood frozen, torn between choices. Inside was warmth and a soft bed. Outside, bitter winds howled. She would have to sleep on her hard skateboard with no blanket, constantly on guard against monsters. The sensible choice was obvious. Besides, this gun, obsessed man seemed decent enough. Almost without thinking, Zhou Ning walked over and lay down on the expanded sofa bed. Moments later, Yang Xiaosu snuggled right up against her. Captain, you smell soft and nice. Zhou Ning. Outside, continuous gunshots rang out. The RV's solid walls muffled the noise, so it did not disturb sleep. Having fought non-stop for 2 days without proper rest, Zhou Ning's exhaustion caught up to her. Her eyelids grew heavy, and she drifted into deep sleep. Outside the RV, Lu Hao focused on target practice. He used different guns to get familiar with each weapon's traits. At first he threw stones and shot them, training to hit fast, moving objects in low, light conditions. Gradually he picked up rudimentary sound-based positioning. Using this skill, he took down several white skeletons drawn by the noise. He ventured out into the dark desert, hunting roaming monsters. Whenever he found one, he wore it down slowly for shooting practice before finishing it off and seeking another target. He kept training deep into the night until he ran out of bullets. He returned to the RV carrying piles of dropped supplies, still craving more practice. Gun, Fu Tier 1, 398/500. He was close to leveling up, only 102 experience points away. Thanks to his luck, manipulation ability, he had also looted 2 basic gene potions. He drank one himself. His overall physique rose to 70. He planned to give the second to Yang Xiaosu. She trusted him completely as a teammate, and he intended to look out for her. It was the middle of the night. Only a dim night. Light burned inside the RV. Yang Xiaosu and Zhou Ning slept soundly on the sofa bed. Yang Xiaosu wore a happy smile, as if dreaming pleasant dreams. Zhou Ning's brows were slightly furrowed, troubled even in sleep. Their arms and legs tangled together beneath their covers. Both women were strikingly beautiful, yet each in their own distinct way. Lu Hao watched quietly without disturbing them. He took a quick shower. The strenuous training had worn him out. Once he finished washing up, he laid down and fell asleep right away. He did not notice one figure slowly sit up on the sofa bed. The next morning, long before sunrise, Lu Hao was jolted awake by Yang Xiaosu's scream. What is it? A sandstorm. Lu Hao sat bolt upright. Zhou Ning was gone. Only Yang Xiaosu remained, pointing toward the ceiling in terror. Lu Hao looked upward. Someone was hanging upside down from the ceiling. What the heck? He was startled, then realized it was Zhou Ning. The sight was bizarre. She hooked her feet over a horizontal ceiling pipe, arms folded across her chest, eyes closed, fast asleep in an upside-down position. Captain, get her down quickly. She'll get blood pooling in her head. Yang Xiaosu said anxiously. Quit yelling. Zhou Ning opened her eyes. She realized her whole perspective was flipped. Panicked, her feet slipped, and she fell. Lu Hao lunged forward, caught her mid-fall, and lifted her in a bridal hold. Thank you. Zhou Ning lay in his arms, lost in thought. After a moment, she lifted her gaze. Did I look ridiculous hanging there like that? Lu Hao paused for 2 seconds and replied earnestly. Every girl is beautiful, even the bat-sleeping kind. Zhou Ning. Yang Xiaosu covered her mouth giggling, then asked curiously. Sister Zhou Ning, were you sleepwalking? Zhou Ning sat upright, embarrassment tinting her cool features. It's my supernatural sequence. I obtained a bat-themed S-rank supernatural power. Do you really have to sleep hanging upside down like a bat? Yang Xiaosu asked in amazement. It appears so, Zhou Ning said helplessly. This powerful S-rank ability boosted her combat strength, yet it also forced bat-like instincts onto her. Even when she finally got a safe place to rest, she still needed to hang upside down to sleep. There was nothing she could do about it. It's just a sleeping habit. You aren't turning into a vampire or growing wings. It's not a big deal. Lu Hao comforted her with a grin. He then added, though there is one upside. What upside? Zhou Ning asked reflexively. Lu Hao said with a completely straight face. You save us an extra bed spot. Zhou Ning, I'll make breakfast. Yang Xiaosu smiled and turned toward the kitchen. Captain, would you like some noodles I made? Zhou Ning shot her a glance. Lu Hao, oh, Sue, I've got a task for you. Gather intelligence on several gangs, the Roadlord Alliance, the Red Flower Society, the Cyber Iron Cavalry Regiment, and the Highway Outlaws. These four are the largest-scale factions at the moment. There is also a rather mysterious gang rumored to possess 2 Tier 3 vehicles. Keep a close eye on that one. While eating noodles, Lu Hao said to Yang Xiaosu. Yang Xiaosu blinked. Captain, that mysterious gang with 2 Tier 3 vehicles, isn't that us? Lu Hao tapped her lightly on the forehead. It's not us. We aren't a gang yet. Then let's found one. How about it? Yang Xiaosu suggested enthusiastically. Oh, Lu Hao fell into brief thought. Zhou Ning paused mid-bite and glanced at him. After a moment, Lu Hao smiled. No, gangs can pool resources quickly, but they're too much trouble to manage. We'll operate as a small team instead. Zhou Ning set down her chopsticks and bowl. I know someone who just joined the Cyber Iron Cavalry Regiment. I can ask him for information. She thought for a second and added. Also, could you help me look for someone? Her name is Zhou Ling. Yang Xiaosu asked curiously. Is she a friend of yours? Did you get separated? There was a touch of loss in Zhou Ning's tone. She's my younger sister. She disappeared half a year ago. I suspect she may have ended up here. I see. That's very possible. Yang Xiaosu thought of her own mother and murmured softly. I hope Mom never comes here. Her health is poor. She would never survive. Damn this end-of-the-road wasteland. Don't worry. This game seems to pull in mostly young people. So far we haven't seen any elderly or children, Lu Hao said. That's a relief. I'm finished eating too. Yang Xiaosu stood up to clear the tableware. Zhou Ning helped her. Once everything was tidied up, Lu Hao handed Yang Xiaosu a vial of basic gene agent. I looted this last night. Drink it. We'll reach Gold Rush Town soon. No one knows what waits inside. We have to grow as strong as we possibly can. Understood, Captain. Yang Xiaosu downed the basic gene agent in one gulp. Outside, dawn had fully broken, and the howl of the sandstorm drew nearer. We can set off, Lu Hao said. There's no rush to enter the town. We'll go in at the very last moment. First we'll sweep the area for anomalous monsters on a wide radius. Zhou Ning, is there anything you're after? Zhou Ning considered. Tier 4 fire core chips, and items that can break the genetic lock. She had maxed out her progression in the starting zone and needed higher tier resources. Lu Hao let out a dry laugh. I want those too, but we'll probably only find them inside instances. Zhou Ning went on. I'll help you hunt anomalous monsters. You can keep all the loot. Just buy me meals and let me use bathing facilities. Deal. I'm heading to my vehicle now, Captain. Yang Xiaosu had changed out of her fancy maid outfit. Zhou Ning had also changed out of her form-fitting short dress. Lu Hao told them, don't kill anomalous monsters straight away. Leave the finishing blow to me. Why? There isn't any monster-slaying quest here, is there? Zhou Ning looked confused. Lu Hao smiled faintly. My loot drop rate is unusually high. It was not until they located a den of anomalous monsters that Zhou Ning and Yang Xiaosu understood exactly what he meant. Could you believe a Tier 2 Black Skeleton dropped 500 highway credits? Could you believe a low Tier 1 freakish monster yielded a basic psychic agent? Tier 3 fire core chips, large stockpiles of fuel, assorted firearms, premium food ingredients, highway credits, clothing. In their eyes, Lu Hao might as well have been cheating. Every anomalous monster he finished off spilled far better loot than normal. It was almost as if whatever they hoped for just dropped right out. He also obtained a dagger, precisely, a tungsten steel forged armor-piercing blade. Zhou Ning had said she wanted nothing, yet even she could not help coveting it. Beside this blade, the small knife she carried felt like scrap metal. You can have it. Neither Xiaosu nor I are suited for this weapon. Lu Hao tossed the armor-piercing blade to her. Zhou Ning meant to decline, yet her hand reached out and caught it anyway. Thank you. Truly, traveling with Lu Hao hardly felt like desperate survival on the wasteland highway. It was more like a carefree hunting expedition. Along the way, Lu Hao kept practicing Gun Fu, drawing ever closer to maxing out its first rank. Gun Fu Rank 1. For 67/503 kilometers from Gold Rush Town, they brought their vehicles to a halt. Through the gray haze 3 kilometers away, the outline of the town was faintly visible. It was no modern settlement, more like an ordinary rural township. Nearly all surviving players had gathered before its gates. Viewed from a distance, it looked like a showcase of vehicles of every conceivable type. Captain, there's an attack helicopter. Yang Xiaosu gasped in amazement. More than one helicopter hovered there, but one attack helicopter stood out above the rest. It's an old model Apache Guardian, the Tier 3 vehicle of Liang Yueming, leader of the Red Flower Society. Zhou Ning identified the craft and its owner. While hunting monsters, Zhou Ning and Yang Xiaosu had also been gathering information about the 4 major gangs via the public chat channel. For instance, the Red Flower Society was led by Liang Yueming, a woman who piloted the Tier 3 Apache Guardian. She possessed the double S-rank Transcendent talent and was widely regarded as #1 on the 1688 Highway Combat Power Rankings. Then there was Zhang Lingxiao, leader of the Cyber Iron Cavalry Regiment. His ride was a Tier 3 flame motorcycle, paired with the Ghost Rider Transcendent talent. It synergized perfectly with his vehicle. His transformed form was spectacular, drawing huge numbers of vehicle-focused players to his faction. Li Qiandong, leader of the Roadlord Alliance, commanded a Tier 3 Tiger tank. His transcendent talent granted a Hulk-like transformation, tripling his defense and overall physical capability. His combat strength rivaled Liang Yueming's. As for the notoriously brutal highway outlaws, their chief Lu Deming drove a Tier 3 armored assault vehicle, and his transcendent talent remained unknown. That other mysterious gang with 2 Tier 3 vehicles still yielded almost no concrete intelligence. Rumor said it was overwhelmingly powerful, though small in numbers. It could stand its ground against the 4 major gangs. Lu Hao glanced at the channel's online player count. Population 11675/100000. Compared with the previous day, casualties had not been catastrophic. That meant every survivor was massed before the town. The sandstorm is still over an hour away. Let's tally up the loot we gathered along the way, Lu Hao said. He called Yang Xiaosu and Zhou Ning inside the motorhome. Yang Xiaosu began inventorying their spoils. 1 Tier 3 Fire Core chip, 6 basic gene agents. For basic psychic agents, 3120 highway credits, 1,200 liters of fuel, 3 pistols, 2 submachine guns, 1 sniper rifle, countless rounds of ammunition, 5 premium steaks, fresh beef, ready-to-eat, hot pot meals. You can skip the food items, Lu Hao interrupted. Right. Yang Xiaosu held out 2 sets of clothing, tactical combat fatigues, and a denim shirt outfit. New clothes for you, Captain. Not bad. Lu Hao picked up 3 basic gene agents. These are for you. Drink them now. Yang Xiaosu did not take them. You should prioritize strengthening yourself, Captain. My overall physique is only 30 points short of hitting 100. Psychic agents are available on the market. Spend some highway credits to buy 2 more bottles, then you drink these. Psychic power is vital for an archer. Also, list the Tier 3 Fire Core chip for sale. Sell it to whoever offers the highest bid, Lu Hao instructed. Got it, Captain. Soon Yang Xiaosu purchased 2 basic psychic agents from the trading platform, spending 2,000 highway credits. Cheers, Captain. She uncapped her vial. Lu Hao smiled. Cheers. Watching them chug agents like drinks, Zhou Ning's eyelids twitched. She had never seen anyone spend resources so recklessly. After consuming the agents, Yang Xiaosu's overall physique rose to 60, and her psychic power climbed to 30. It's a shame we don't have more time. We need to keep some highway credits in reserve, or I would max your stats right away, Lu Hao said. Yang Xiaosu hurried to reply. That's unnecessary, Captain. I'm already really grateful. Ugh, I feel full. We'll find more resources once we're inside the town, Lu Hao chuckled. Captain, you can hold all the highway credits. I'll hand over my remaining 500 too. You handle our funds from now on, Yang Xiaosu said earnestly. After just 2 days together, she trusted Lu Hao completely, without reservation. Lu Hao thought for a moment. Very well. Still, keep some money on your person for emergencies. He stowed his most used firearms and corresponding ammunition in his inventory for instant access, then checked his status panel. Name, Lu Hao. Account balance, 2888 overall physique, 100 strength, agility, defense psychic power, 36 out of 100 recovering transcendent talents, vehicle symbiosis, fortune manipulation, gunfu rank 1, 467 500th genetic lock, unopened. Inventory, Desert Eagle pistol, Beretta pistol, AK-47 rifle, Smith Wesson M500 revolver, Colt M1873 revolver, Barrett M90 sniper rifle, ammunition. Captain, someone's offering a huge sum for the Tier 3 Fire Core chip, Yang Xiaosu suddenly exclaimed. Lu Hao's expression sharpened. Oh, how much are they offering? 10,000 highway credits, the highest bid so far, Yang Xiaosu answered. Lu Hao pondered for several seconds. Still too low? Did they identify themselves? Yang Xiaosu said. They claim to be from the Red Flower Society. They want to build a connection, and said we could join their faction with high-ranking positions if we are willing. Other gangs have also placed bids and tried to recruit us, she added. I see. Lu Hao laughed. They've guessed we have a Tier 3 vehicle. Naturally, they want to absorb us and take our assets for themselves. Reject all of them. Block anyone who sends hostile messages. Understood. Yang Xiaosu went through her private messages, turning down offers. Then she gasped at a new incoming message. Captain, someone named Zhang Xian is bidding 20,000 highway credits. He didn't state which gang he belongs to, just made the offer directly. 20,000? Even Lu Hao was surprised by how wealthy the bidder was. He sent another message. He wants an in-person offline trade and says he will give us valuable intelligence, Yang Xiaosu reported. Lu Hao refused without hesitation. Decline. We will complete the trade online. We don't need his intelligence. Okay, Yang Xiaosu nodded. Moments later, 20,000 highway credits were transferred to Lu Hao's account. Account balance, 22,888. Our funds have swelled considerably, he remarked. He turned toward Zhou Ning. What do you think about formally joining our team? I have no interest in running a large gang, but I welcome reliable teammates I can trust with my life. Would you trust me enough to have my back? Zhou Ning looked somewhat perplexed at his phrasing. Yang Xiaosu blinked and whispered. That started normal, but the last line sounded weird. Ahem. Lu Hao cleared his throat. Pay no mind to the wording. I'm completely above board. Zhou Ning agreed with that assessment. The previous night inside the vehicle, he had had every opportunity to take advantage of her, yet he had simply let her sleep undisturbed. That integrity counted for a great deal in her eyes. She gave a slight nod. I accept. Great. With Sister Zhou Ning on our side, our group is so much stronger. Yang Xiaosu cheered. It's a team, Lu Hao corrected. Yang Xiaosu stuck out her tongue. What should we call our team? Once we have 3 or more members, the highway system lets us register as an official gang. Are there any benefits for registering? Lu Hao asked. None that I know of, Yang Xiaosu replied. Then forget it. Lu Hao saw no point in actions that yielded no rewards. The sandstorm will arrive in 1 hour. We'll rest right here, eat, bathe, and then head into town. After putting away their supplies, Zhou Ning went to bathe first. Yang Xiaosu fried steaks while Lu Hao waited for the meal. Half an hour later, the 3 of them were full, clean, and relaxing on the sofa with the air conditioning running, waiting for the deadline. Suddenly, deafening explosions boomed. A large-scale firefight had erupted before Gold Rush Town. From where Lu Hao sat, flames blazed, and gunfire and cannon blasts rang out nonstop. They're fighting. Looks like a major conflict, Lu Hao observed. Zhou Ning checked the public chat channel. It's the Roadlord Alliance against the Highway Outlaws. What sparked it? Lu Hao raised binoculars and watched a Tiger tank charge about, its main gun firing repeatedly. Zhou Ning said, I'll message Chen Zhong. He's well informed. Chen Zhong? The biker from the Flying Dragon Society. Lu Hao asked. That's him. Back at the subway entrance, he and the guy with the 3-wheeled buggy both held their fire against us, Zhou Ning said. I remember. That's why I spared them. Lu Hao kept watching through the binoculars. Dozens of vehicles had already been destroyed. He winced. All that wreckage represented valuable materials for vehicle synthesis. Such waste. He replied. Zhou Ning read her private message. Li Qiandong and Lu Deming are fighting over a woman. So dramatic? Yang Xiaosu was astonished. History is full of conflicts sparked over women, Lu Hao commented. But Chen Zhong says it is not merely a romantic dispute. It has to do with the woman's transcendent talent, Zhou Ning added. Oh, that makes this far more interesting. What kind of talent would drive 2 gangs to bleed each other dry? Lu Hao looked intrigued. Zhou Ning spoke again. Latest update from Chen Zhong. The woman ran straight into Gold Rush Town. Both sides have temporarily ceased hostilities. The Roadlord Alliance lost 8 members, the Highway Outlaws 17. Several Tier 2 vehicles were destroyed. Both factions suffered heavy losses. Yang Xiaosu stared. Just like that. Lu Hao shook his head in amusement. They fought so viciously, and the cause of the conflict just fled. All that bloodshed for nothing. Zhou Ning smiled faintly and shook her head. It feels almost absurd. What is her name? We ought to keep an eye out for her. We don't want to get tangled up in her trouble, Lu Hao asked. Zhou Ning answered. Her name is Qin Zhao Zhao. Qin Zhao Zhao. Lu Hao committed the name to memory and lowered his binoculars. He opened the refrigerator, which held neatly arranged beverages. What would you like to drink? Yang Xiaosu raised her hand. Lemon tea. Coffee, Zhou Ning said. Lu Hao tossed them their drinks and took an orange juice for himself. Sipping it on the sofa, he checked the time. 20 minutes remaining. Yang Xiaosu and Zhou Ning sat beside him, waiting quietly. They knew almost nothing about Gold Rush Town. They could only wait and discover what lay inside. Zhou Ning sipped her coffee with a cool, calm expression. Yang Xiaosu sipped her lemon tea, looking visibly nervous. Lu Hao closed his eyes and mentally laid out plans. Time ticked onward. The sandstorm drew ever closer, a massive wall of sand bearing down. 8 minutes left, Yang Xiaosu reminded them. Lu Hao opened his eyes. Let's go. The compartment door opened. Yang Xiaosu hurried over to her Tier 3 off-road vehicle. Zhou Ning leaped gracefully, and her hovering skateboard flew to catch her. Lu Hao stayed seated on the sofa and spoke. Ernyo, set course for Gold Rush Town. A crisp female voice sounded inside the cabin. Understood, Master. Ernyo was the voice of the autonomous driving module, a name Lu Hao had picked casually. Players were already driving through the town gate ahead of them. Lu Hao took his time, letting the heavy-duty motorhome advance slowly. He activated the vehicle intercom. Zhou Ning Xiaosu. There is only one road into town. No need to crowd the entrance. We'll go in last. Copy that. Copy that. The approaching sandstorm herded the surviving players like sheep toward the township enclosure. Yet the safety of the enclosure was an illusion. Far deadlier dangers might await them within. Lu Hao's three-person team finally reached the town entrance. Gray fog shrouded the settlement. Vehicles passing through the gateway vanished completely, as if swallowed by some great beast. 3 minutes left, we have plenty of time. Lu Hao glanced at the numerous abandoned vehicles scattered nearby and addressed his teammates. I have something to take care of. You two go on ahead. I'll catch up shortly. But Captain, the sandstorm is almost here. It'll be extremely dangerous out there. Yang Xiaosu grew alarmed. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing. I'll join you inside very soon. Lu Hao replied calmly. Yang Xiaosu wanted to protest further, but Zhou Ning spoke. Let's go, Xiaosu. Trust the captain. All right. Once their vehicles had vanished into the gray mist of the gateway, Lu Hao brought the heavy-duty motorhome to a stop. He stepped outside. The sandstorm was less than a kilometer away. Braving fierce gusts, he moved from one abandoned vehicle to the next, scavenging every wreck he could find. No matter how badly damaged, every scrap counted. To his pleasant surprise, two vehicles remained relatively intact. 3 more Tier 2 units were half destroyed, and the rest were Tier 1 wrecks. Synthesize them all. A system prompt quickly appeared. Insufficient materials to craft a Tier 4 vehicle. Resources converted into spare upgrade modules. Progress, 41%, reaching Tier 4 will be difficult. Over 20 wrecked vehicles only got me to 41%. I likely need several Tier 2 vehicles, or maybe 1 or 2 Tier 3 ones. Lu Hao sighed softly. Still, lots of players are gathered inside the town. There will be more opportunities to scavenge wreckage. I'll manage. The sandstorm was now 300 meters away. Unlike his nervous first encounter with the phenomenon, Lu Hao remained unhurried. He climbed back into his heavy-duty armored motorhome. Ernyo, move out. Understood, Master. The heavy-duty armored motorhome accelerated, passing through the town gate mere moments before the sandstorm hit. It disappeared into the gray haze, as if propelled inward by the storm itself. Visibility dropped sharply for several seconds, then brightened again. Before Lu Hao had time to observe his surroundings, he received a notification from the highway system. Welcome to Gold, Panning Town. Mission and rules now announced. 1. Optional mission. Eliminate the Warlord Commander. Reward. Level, for Fire Source Chip, 1,000 points. 2. Personal points leaderboard activated. 3. Players ranked within the top 10 on the leaderboard will receive rewards. 4. Players ranked within the top 1,000 on the leaderboard will obtain a pass permit. Private duels are temporarily forbidden within town limits. 6. Gold. Panning Town holds great dangers alongside opportunities. There is no turning back. Survive. Countdown. 71 hours, 58 minutes, 12 seconds. The missions and rules were straightforward. No explicit threats were stated, yet immense peril lurked beneath the surface. One key piece of information stood out. Obtaining the level 4 Fire Source chip required defeating the Warlord Commander. If only the top 1,000 players get a pass permit, what happens to everyone else? Do they all die? If that's true, the mortality rate here is absolutely horrifying. 100,000 players started this instance. Only 1,000 would make it through the first stage, a mere 1% clearance rate. And they only had 3 days. The real question is, how do we earn points? Highway system, could you at least tell us? Lu Hao let out a helpless sigh, and at that moment a leaderboard interface popped up. First place, Li Si, 9 points. Second place, Jiang Zhiyue, 4 points. Third place. The player chat channel exploded instantly, everyone bombarding Li Si with questions about how he earned his points. Li Si replied, utterly confused. I have no idea. I just won 9 highway coins inside the casino. I get it. You can earn points gambling in the casino, someone wrote. Another player confirmed it. You really can get points there. I just lost 50 highway coins, and now my points are negative 50. Dead last on the board. Wait, points can go negative? Someone else shared what they had seen inside the casino. The place is full of white skeletons. They won't attack you outright, but they smoke, drink, clean you out of your money and grin like ghosts. It's infuriating. A third source of points was brought up, the gold, panning arena. Win fights and you gain points. What happens if you lose? Minus 10 points, plus several broken ribs. Good heavens, broken ribs? That's brutal. I'm begging for a doctor in this chat. My ribs are smashed, and it hurts like hell. Lu Hao read through the flood of messages with keen interest when Yang Xiaosu's voice crackled over the vehicle radio. Captain, are you inside? I'm in. Phew. Xiaosu, try not to make sounds like that. It sounds misleading, Zhou Ning chided. Since joining the team, her personality had brightened up, and she even cracked jokes now and then. I was just relieved. You're the one with the dirty mind, Sister Ning, Yang Xiaosu protested, flustered. Captain, we're at the casino entrance. It's 500 meters from where we spawned, Zhou Ning reported. Got it. I'll head over to meet you too. Ernyo. Yes, master. The heavy-duty RV rumbled along the town's wide main road. More and more vehicles came into view, most belonging to players who hung back, too cautious to venture deep into the town. On both sides of the street stood charred low-rise buildings, as if ravaged by a massive fire. Lu Hao rolled down the window. Hot air carrying the stench of smoke washed over him. The arrival of the heavily armored heavy-duty RV drew plenty of stares. Lu Hao had retracted the roof, mounted heavy machine gun into its hidden slot, so while the vehicle looked wild and imposing, it was not overtly threatening. Is that a truck or an RV? It's huge, but it's got a whole living space inside. Titanium, alloy plating all over. Its defense must be insane. Look at those tires, definitely nothing ordinary. Must be another tier 3 powerhouse. Ignoring the whispers, Lu Hao drove straight to the casino. Compared with the run-down surrounding buildings, the casino stood out prominently. A large 2-story building. A giant glowing green skull hung above its entrance, beneath which 4 large characters read gold, panning casino. The main door stood wide open. 2 white skeletons stood guard on either side. Noisy shouts and eerie music drifted out from inside. At first glance, it resembled a haunted house attraction. The white skeletons won't attack unprovoked. Anyone can walk in freely. Zhou Ning walked over and briefed him. Captain, park right here. Yang Xiaosu stood by an empty parking bay, drawing her bow to chase off a tier 2 forklift trying to steal the spot. The forklift's operator had been ready to argue, but upon seeing Lu Hao's heavy-duty RV bearing down, it spun around and sped away. Lu Hao smiled and pulled into the parking space. Glancing over the other parked vehicles, his gaze landed on a tiger tank and a fiery red motorbike. Li Qiandong from the Road Lords Alliance, Zhang Lingxiao from the Cyber Iron Cavalry Regiment. They're both inside. So is Chun Zhong, Zhou Ning noted. Lu Hao nodded. All right, let's go take a look. He climbed the steps, with Yang Xiaosu and Zhou Ning flanking him. Lu Hao glanced at the skeleton sentries by the door, pausing briefly to confirm they would not charge at him wielding rusted iron bars, then stepped inside. Inside the casino, noise echoed everywhere, thick with the smell of alcohol and tobacco. A bizarre scene unfolded before them. So many skeletons, they're smoking, drinking, and gambling. Shock showed plainly on Yang Xiaosu's face. Dim yellow lamps lit the hall. Dozens of gaming tables filled the large room, ringed by both white skeletons and human players. Save for their grotesque forms, the skeletons behaved almost exactly like living people, save for the wordless, guttural howls they made. Some held cigarettes between their bony jaws, exhaling plumes of smoke. Others sipped wine with elegant gestures. At one table, a skeleton that had won a huge pile of coins jumped onto the table and began dancing. The other skeletons roared and cheered, whipping the atmosphere into a frenzy. The skeleton had won its winnings from a human player. Enraged, the player slammed his fists on the table. Damn it, every hand is a straight. You're definitely cheating. The dancing skeleton froze. It pointed a bony finger at him. A string of red numbers floated above the player's head. -200. Flames flickered in the skeleton's eye sockets. Its jaws clattered open and shut as it let out an otherworldly howl. Fear washed over the player. All right, fine, you're in charge here. I've got to go. Before he could finish speaking, a beam of crimson light shot down from the ceiling, searing straight into his forehead. Crack. His body jerked once, and he collapsed to the ground, eyes wide with terror. He was dead. The shocking turn stunned every other player in the room. They stared rigidly at the corpse on the floor. In stark contrast, every skeleton in the casino erupted into cheers, ghostly howls filling the hall. -200 points, and you get instantly eliminated? Lu Hao's eyes narrowed. That appears to be the case, Zhou Ning said flatly. 10 highway coins is the baseline for entry. Winnings convert to points, losses deduct points. From what I've observed, almost everyone loses here. This is no place to farm points. Lose too much, and you lose your life. Yang Xiaosu shrank back nervously. Should we even gamble here? Maybe we ought to leave. Let's watch a little longer, Lu Hao said calmly. A loud laugh boomed across the room. Ha ha, you're all so skittish. Cowards can get out if you're scared. Don't ruin everyone else's fun. Deal the cards, you thing. Lu Hao turned to see a burly, shaved, headman in a tank top, built like a heavyweight fighter. He sat alone at one table, surrounded by a group of underlings. The white skeleton dealer seemed intimidated, dealing cards with trembling, bony hands. Mind if I join? Another man sauntered over and sat down beside him. The burly man's expression darkened. Zhang Lingxiao, there are plenty of empty tables. Why crowd mine? It's dim in here and you're still wearing sunglasses. You look ridiculous. At his words, more than a dozen of Zhang Lingxiao's men surged forward, glaring fiercely. The burly man's crew stepped up to meet them. You're asking for death. This is Boss Dong's table. Get lost. Keep pushing and Boss Dong will wipe you out. Just like the Fanatics gang. Enough of this racket. Zhang Lingxiao held up a hand to restrain his followers. Clad in a leather jacket with slicked back hair and dark sunglasses, he smiled coolly. I wouldn't dare pick a fight with Boss Dong. This world isn't all fighting and bloodshed. There are manners too. I've got no grudge against you. Li Qiandong snorted. Keep putting on airs, and we'll have a grudge real quick. Still, he did not chase him away, and flipped open his dealt cards. They were playing baccarat. 9 was the highest hand. This round the banker drew 8, the player 6. Damn it, I lost again. Li Qiandong slammed his cards down and glowered at the skeleton dealer. I want to inspect these cards. The skeleton dealer flinched, trembling as it handed over the deck, then silently took back the 10 highway coins he had bet. Its behavior was almost comical. It shook in apparent fear, its jaws clattering non-stop, yet it never hesitated to take money it had won. Li Qiandong let out an exasperated laugh. The cards are clean, but mark my words. Deal fairly. Don't pull any tricks, or I'll smash your skull in. Clack, clack. The skeleton nodded rapidly. Deal me in 2, beautiful. Zhang Lingxiao tapped the table. The skeleton dealer froze at the compliment, almost bashful. The red heart inside its ribcage visibly beat faster. Everyone watching stared in bewilderment. A supernatural monster was actually acting shy? Li Qiandong shot Zhang Lingxiao a glance. How can you even tell it was female? Zhang Lingxiao lit a cigarette with a snap of his fingers and smiled. Female skeletons have finer bones, wider pelvises, and softer facial contours. Flesh is superficial. Bone structure tells the truth. This dealer's skull has smooth, proportioned features. She must have been a great beauty in life. The onlookers listened in complete surprise. The skeleton grew even more flustered and blew him a bony kiss. Li Qiandong scoffed. You're rambling nonsense about bones. Get on with dealing the cards, you odd creature. Deal me some good hands, beautiful. Zhang Lingxiao winked at the skeleton. It clacked its jaws and began dealing. Another 10 coins, Li Qiandong tossed onto the table. Same bet for me, Boss Dong. How much have you lost so far? Zhang Lingxiao added his 10-coin wager. Mind your own business. Li Qiandong flipped his 2 cards and barked. 3 points, hit me. 3 points for me too. Hit me. Beautiful, Zhang Lingxiao said. The skeleton slid each of them another card. Li Qiandong turned his new card and his face fell. A 7, giving him 0 total points. He grew even angrier seeing Zhang Lingxiao's draw. A 6, for a perfect 9. The skeleton dealer collected Li Qiandong's 10 coins and pushed them over to Zhang Lingxiao. Thank you, beautiful, Zhang Lingxiao grinned. Clack, clack. The skeleton clattered its jaws in reply. Li Qiandong's jaw tightened. Are you two playing me for a fool? Zhang Lingxiao feigned innocence. Hey now, I didn't collude with it. I just got lucky. Li Qiandong did not buy it. He raised his huge fist and threatened the dealer. I'm not moving tables. Give me a different dealer. Cut out that strange behavior and deal properly. The skeleton dealer stepped backward nervously. At that moment, a black skeleton approached. The appearance of this tier 2 supernatural creature made Li Qiandong temper his anger, though he refused to back down. You deal now. The black skeleton stepped behind the dealer's spot. Seeing the female skeleton leave, Zhang Lingxiao sighed. So harsh. No sense of decency at all. Li Qiandong shot back with a sharp retort, and Zhang Lingxiao let the subject drop. Nearby, Lu Hao observed everything unfolding. The banter between the 2 gang leaders and every quirk of the supernatural skeletons. A vague theory began forming in his mind, though he was not yet certain. At another table, A player gambled until his points hit -200. Before he could react, crimson light pierced his body, killing him instantly. Panic rippled through the crowd. Many players who had been caught up in gambling sobered up immediately. Survival came first. Even at Li Qiandong's table, luck turned sour after the black skeleton took over. Both Li Qiandong and Zhang Lingxiao lost far more hands than they won. Zhang Lingxiao's charm had no effect on the black skeleton. This is pointless, losing hand after hand. Can't we get a few winning rounds? Zhang Lingxiao stood and let out a cold laugh, placing both hands flat on the table. I'm losing my patience. Flames erupted across his body, setting the gaming table alight. He heaved, hurling the burning table toward the black skeleton. Calmly, the black skeleton drew its large blade and sliced the table clean in two. Impressive. You're far stronger than the ordinary black skeletons outside. Zhang Lingxiao blazed like a human torch. Many players watched in awe. Only Li Qiandong remained seated. He sneered. All flash. Starting a fight inside this building? You'd better watch yourself. Watch out for what? Zhang Lingxiao glanced upward. What he saw made him jump in fright. A beam of crimson light bore straight down toward him. Shit! He dove aside. The beam missed his skull, but burned clean through his foot. He dared not stay another second. Retreat. Bursting into a ball of fire, he sprinted out of the casino, with his cyber iron cavalry regiment rushing after him. The black skeleton hissed. White skeletons hurried over to put out the fire, clear away the wreckage, and set down a fresh table. This incident drove home a harsh truth for most onlookers. The casino was a trap, designed almost exclusively to take players' coins. Earning points here was next to impossible. Li Qiandong was no longer in the mood to gamble. My points are down to -50. Chow, where does that woman Liang Mingyue rank? First place, Boss Dong. 350 points, his subordinate answered. Damn it. Where is she? Li Qiandong shot to his feet. The gold panning arena. She's fought more than a dozen matches and took down one tier. 3 supernatural monster for 100 points. She's terrifying. I'll get the better of her sooner or later, Li Qiandong said as he headed for the exit. Any sign of Qin Zhaozhao? Not yet. Li Qiandong paused mid-step. His eyes fell on a young man who had just sat down at one of the gaming tables. 2 women stood behind him. One wore a mask hiding her features, while the other was strikingly beautiful with a cool, elegant bearing. She's just as stunning as Liang Mingyue and Qin Zhaozhao, Li Qiandong muttered, lingering. Let's watch this young man play a few hands. His subordinate Chow smiled helplessly, knowing exactly what had caught his boss's attention. Deal the cards. Lu Hao tapped the table and tossed down 10 highway coins, addressing the black skeleton dealer. His calm composure drew plenty of eyes. Anyone willing to sit at a gambling table after everything that had happened was either a newcomer or a reckless fool. The black skeleton drove its large blade into the floor, picked up the deck, and shuffled the cards with dexterous bony fingers. All bone, and you still handle cards so well, Lu Hao observed with curiosity. The black skeleton paid him no mind. It fanned the shuffled deck and began dealing. As it moved, Lu Hao quietly activated fortune manipulation. No need for huge wins, just enough to get ahead. He noticed only a small amount of mental energy was consumed. Small-scale games barely drain my power. I can keep this up for quite a while, he thought to himself. 2 cards landed before him. The black skeleton flipped its own hand. 8 points. It gestured for Lu Hao to reveal his cards. Without glancing down, Lu Hao flipped his cards over. 9 points. He had 1. Points plus 10. Yes. Captain won. Yang Xiaosu whispered excitedly. Lu Hao bet his newly, won 10 coins again. Deal another round. The black skeleton dealt once more. Again Lu Hao flipped his cards without looking. For points, requiring another draw. The banker held 7 points. The skeleton slid him 1 more card. Lu Hao turned it over. A 4, totaling 8 points. Another win. Points, 10 plus 20. Yang Xiaosu gripped Zhou Ning's arm, barely containing her excitement. He won again. Look, Sister Ning. Stay composed. Zhou Ning patted her hand. Keep going. Lu Hao wagered all 20 coins, bringing the total stake to 40 highway coins. A win would double his funds once more. The black skeleton dealt. Cards revealed. Banker 8, Lu Hao 9. Thank you. Lu Hao collected his 40 coins. Points, 30 plus 40. Holy hell, another win. Is this real? 3 consecutive victories drew a crowd of onlookers. Even Li Qiandong, who had been watching Zhou Ning, shifted his full attention to the table. This kid's got real skill. Is he a gambling genius, or does he have some special ability? He abandoned his plan to leave, wanting to see just how long Lu Hao's winning streak could last. Spectators crowded all around the table. Brother Zhong, look, that's Lu Hao. In a corner of the hall, Haozi peeked out furtively. I see him. Stop acting so suspicious, Chen Zhong sighed. He's incredible, 3 wins in a row. I lost 5 hands straight earlier. Haozi exclaimed in envy. This lad is something else. Chen Zhong watched Lu Hao's retreating figure, then glanced at Zhou Ning standing beside him. Jealous, Zhongge? The woman you couldn't win over ended up with him, Haozi said. Can we drop this? Chen Zhong shot him a sharp look. Haozi shrank his neck and went on. Even our group leader isn't a match for him. He lost his temper and flipped the table. Apart from looking good and being able to summon flames, he's nothing extraordinary. You don't know what you're talking about. I've got my own plans, Chen Zhong said calmly. Should we go over and talk to him? It wouldn't hurt to get on his good side. I've got a feeling he's far stronger, Haozi asked. Chen Zhong shook his head. No need. We'll just watch from here. Haozi suddenly understood. Afraid the group leader will misunderstand, get angry, and beat you up? Chen Zhong, comma. At that moment, another exclamation came from not far away. Damn, he won again. For victories in a row. 80 points earned this round. At the gambling table, Lu Hao checked his points and mental power. Points, 70 plus 80, mental power, 42/100 recovering. The mental power I used up earlier hasn't fully returned, and I've expended some more just now. Still, it's manageable. I can keep going, he thought to himself. He looked at the surrounding onlookers, who were growing more agitated than he was. He decided he would play one final round before leaving. Can I place another bet? He asked the black skeleton dealer. Having lost 4 consecutive hands, the black skeleton had lost the composure it had shown at the start. The skeleton stared at Lu Hao, flames flickering deep within its eye sockets, trying to discern some secret from him. After a moment, it slowly nodded. Xiao Su, Aining, place a bet too. 100 highway coins each, Lu Hao said. Got it. Young Xiao Su's eyes lit up. Zhou Ning did not hesitate and pulled out her highway coins. Bet on you to win. Lu Hao thought for a moment, his gaze settling on the tie betting slot marked tie times 3. A tie pays 3 to 1. What happens if we lose? Do we lose triple the points? He asked. The black skeleton dealer slowly nodded. Bet on a tie. Lu Hao told the 2 women, then pushed his 160 coins toward the tie times 3 slot. Yang Xiaosu and Zhou Ning followed suit. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Whoa, he's going all in. If I'm not mistaken, he's already gained 150 points. If he loses this round, he'll lose 480 points in total, dropping to negative 330. The red light execution will get him. Is he throwing his life away? He's dragging his teammates down with him. He's completely crazy. He's so calm, Donggu. This guy's remarkable. Isn't he scared of dying? Akeo said. Li Qiandong watched Lu Hao and spoke slowly. He truly is extraordinary. If he dares to make this bet, he must be confident he can win. Even if he loses, he's certain he can evade or withstand the elimination strike. Zhang Lingxiao dodged it earlier, which proves the casino's punishment isn't always fatal. Akeo nodded. That makes sense, Donggu. A talent like him is worth recruiting. Akeo, go speak with him later, Li Qiandong ordered. Understood, Donggu. Cards were already dealt on the table. The massive wager had every watching player on edge. Even the black skeleton dealer's hands trembled as it dealt, glancing repeatedly at Lu Hao. Aining Jia, I'm so nervous. Yang Xiaosu clutched Zhou Ning's arm tightly. Zhou Ning took a deep breath. Trust the captain. Okay. Yang Xiaosu fixed her anxious gaze on Lu Hao's cards. Lu Hao did not look at his whole cards and flipped them straight away. Everyone leaned in. A king and a queen, 0 points. They turned to the dealer's hand. A queen and an ace, 1 point. Both sides needed to draw another card. Under Baccarat rules, any hand totaling 5 or less must hit. Incredible tension, the onlookers shouted. Draw the card, dealer. Look how fast its heart is beating. For a strange monster, it sure shows plenty of emotion. The bright red heart inside the black skeleton thundered loudly, the pounding audible to all. It stared at Lu Hao, flames dancing in its eye sockets, then carefully drew the supplementary cards. As soon as the card landed in front of Lu Hao, he flipped it without hesitation, leaving no suspense for the crowd. When they saw the card, everyone fell silent. Damn it, a 10. Still 0 points. He put on all that bravado just to end up with nothing. Pride goes before a fall. Serves him right. He's got 0 points. He's finished, Zhonggu. Haozi exclaimed anxiously. Chen Zhong frowned. That's rotten luck. But they bet on a tie. There's still a slim chance to turn this around. Really? How likely is that? Haozi asked. Chen Zhong's eyes remained fixed on the gambling table where Lu Hao was surrounded by the crowd. Slim. Extremely slim, he replied. Aining Jia, what does 0 points mean? Is it the worst hand? Yang Xiaosu whispered. Zhou Ning was growing tense as well. It is the lowest possible score. The dealer hasn't flipped their third card yet. We still have hope. The black skeleton's heartbeat slowed. It bared rows of sharp teeth, seemingly grinning. It was completely relaxed now. The odds of both player and banker drawing 0 points were less than once in 1,000 games. There was no way it could lose this round. Quit grinning and flip your card. Lu Hao tapped the table. This round had drained another 20 points of his mental power. His complexion was pale, and his voice carried a hint of exhaustion. The spectators assumed he was panicking. Anyone would be, with stakes this high. Crack. The black skeleton dealer remained composed and flipped its card casually. The players craned to look, and the loudest roar of shock erupted across the venue the next instant. Whoa, whoa, no way. The banker had 1 point and drew a 9. 0 points total for the dealer too. What kind of luck is this? It's a tie? We win. Triple payout. Can this guy's superhuman ability be pure luck manipulation? I thought he was just posturing, but he's genuinely formidable. After this, I believe the casino isn't cheating. Amid the uproar, the black skeleton dealer seemed to freeze in place, its bony frame rigid. We won. Aining Jia, we won. Yang Xiaosu nearly jumped for joy. Zhou Ning quickly held her back, excitement audible in her tone. Calm down first. Lu Hao smiled and gestured toward the table. You owe me 720 in total. The black skeleton slowly moved its head, stiffly retrieving highway coins from a drawer and pushing the pile, including the original bets, toward Lu Hao. 1,080 highway coins in all. Lu Hao swept the coins into his account, then transferred 300 each to Yang Xiaosu and Zhou Ning. Yang Xiaosu, plus 200 rank 9. Zhou Ning, plus 200 rank 9. Lu Hao, 150 plus 320 rank 1. Lu Hao checked his balance and mental power. Account balance, 23358. Mental power, 18 out of 100 recovering. He looked at the black skeleton dealer and smiled. Shall we keep playing, friend? The skeleton shuddered and let out a harsh hiss. Several black skeletons advanced with a group of white skeletons, and the surrounding players stepped back nervously. The black skeleton dealer pointed toward the entrance. Clear enough. He was being asked to leave. They won't let me keep gambling? Lu Hao asked. The skeleton nodded. Lu Hao let out a helpless laugh and stood up. Yang Xiaosu huffed angrily. You're kicking us out just because you lost. Can't you take a loss? It was obvious the casino refused to let Lu Hao continue. Let's go, Lu Hao smiled. Starting trouble inside the casino carried heavy penalties. While he was confident he could dodge the red light attacks, unnecessary conflict would reveal too much of his strength. He had already earned plenty of points for the time being. He led Yang Xiaosu and Zhou Ning out of the casino, walking past the hostile glares of the skeleton guards and the envious, astonished stares of the other players. Sir, wait a moment. Someone called out to him. Lu Hao turned to see a bespectacled middle-aged man with a gentle appearance. My name is Wang Chao, from the Road Tyrant Alliance. I watched your incredible gambling skills from start to finish. I'm truly impressed. Thank you. It was just luck, Lu Hao replied politely. Luck? Wang Chao thought to himself. Everything about him showed he had known he would win. He had turned 10 coins into 870 points across 5 games. Liang Mingyue fought hard in the Gold Digger arena only to gain 350 points, barely holding the top rank. Lu Hao had easily gained 470 points at the gambling table, claiming first place and getting his 2 teammates into the top 10 alongside him. Above all, his steady, unruffled demeanor was enough to make the Road Tyrant Alliance eager to recruit him. With that thought, Wang Chao spoke sincerely. May I ask which faction you 3 belong to? If you haven't joined one yet, please consider the Road Tyrant Alliance. We have the largest number of members and considerable strength. You may have heard of our leader Li Qiandong. He commands a Tier 3 Tiger heavy tank, a true land behemoth. The Road Tyrant Alliance. Lu Hao sized him up and said after a short pause. Thank you for the offer, but we have no intention of joining any faction. He then led Yang Xiaosu and Zhou Ning toward their vehicles. Zhou Ning's hoverboard was stored on Yang Xiaosu's off-road vehicle. The air in town was thick and polluted, so she climbed straight into the heavy truck's living cabin. Wang Chao watched the heavy truck and off-road vehicle drive away, his eyes thoughtful. They turned us down? Li Qiandong walked over. Yes, Donggo. He wouldn't even negotiate, Wang Chao said helplessly. Li Qiandong's voice rumbled. That heavy truck's armor looks superior even to my tank, definitely a Tier 3 vehicle. That off-roader is likely Tier 3 as well. If we could recruit them, the Road Tyrant Alliance would grow powerful enough to overpower the Red Flower Society. 2 Tier 3 vehicles. Wang Chao voiced the thought forming in his mind. Donggo. Could they belong to that mysterious small faction rumored to own 2 Tier 3 vehicles? Li Qiandong's expression shifted. That's very possible. He thought for a moment and gave his order. Send someone to track their movements and see if they have more teammates. Still, that isn't our top priority. I understand, Dong Go. Qin Zhao Zhao is, Wang Chao said. Low-stakes battles rely on damage dealers. High-stakes battles depend on support. If we can get Qin Zhao Zhao on our side, we could crush the Frenzied Gang and even the Red Flower Society without effort. Li Qiandong's tone was full of longing. Let's head to the Gold Digger Arena. Everyone needs to earn more points first. Captain, should we head to the arena fighting grounds? Yang Xiaosu asked. Lu Hao sat on a sofa inside the truck cabin, while Zhou Ning stayed in the driver's seat. She was not driving yet, keeping watch over their surroundings as they traveled along the main town road. Not right now. Let's find somewhere to rest first. Lu Hao massaged his throbbing temples. The severe depletion of his mental power left him feeling lightheaded. There's an inn ahead, Captain, Zhou Ning suddenly said. An inn? Interesting. Lu Hao considered it. Let's check it out. The two-story inn stretched across dozens of shop fronts along the street. A wooden sign stood at the entrance, carved with the words Gold Digger Inn. Gold Digger Town, Gold Digger Casino, Gold Digger Arena, Gold Digger Inn. These names aren't chosen randomly. Could there be a gold mine or a river bearing gold nearby? Lu Hao wondered. The inn had a dedicated parking lot already filled with many vehicles. Parking was free for guests. After they parked, Lu Hao, Yang Xiaosu, and Zhou Ning walked inside. Several players were walking out, talking quietly. This place is a haunted inn. We shouldn't stay here. Exactly. People die inside. Still, plenty of reckless guests check in for the 100-point reward. I value my life too much to take that risk. Lu Hao immediately sensed hidden danger within the inn. Two white skeletons worked the front desk, with a price list hanging on the wall. Yang Xiaosu's eyes widened. 100 coins per room. That's far too expensive, Captain. Let's skip it and sleep in the vehicles tonight. Wait, look over there. Lu Hao directed their attention to several lines of red writing on the wall, scrawled messily, as if written in blood. Guests may stay for one night only. Earn 100 points upon completing one full night's stay. No points awarded if you leave early. Maximum 3 guests per room. Friendly reminder. You may gain unexpected rewards or lose your life. Just 4 lines, yet they reeked of menace. No wonder so many people are backing out, Zhou Ning murmured. Should we still stay? It sounds terrifying. Yang Xiaosu hesitated. Zhou Ning turned to Lu Hao. We'll follow your call, Captain. Yang Xiaosu looked at him as well, waiting for his decision. Lu Hao stared at the final line. We'll stay? There might be unexpected gains. If trouble arises, we can always leave the inn. All right. Yang Xiaosu and Zhou Ning agreed. We'd like 1 room, Zhou Ning told the white skeleton receptionist. The skeleton nodded, signaling for payment. Lu Hao handed over 100 highway coins. After taking the money, the white skeleton scanned their wristwatches with a scanner device and handed over a key. Room 269. Yang Xiaosu picked up the key and glanced at the directional signs. This way, up to the 2nd floor. The 3 climbed the stairs to the 2nd floor. The corridor was cold and dim, lined with old wooden floorboards that creaked underfoot. Rooms lined both sides of the passage. Occasionally a door creaked open, and other staying players peeked out curiously. No monsters, only fellow survivors. Yang Xiaosu stepped carefully, afraid the aged planks would collapse beneath her. Zhou Ning drew her armor-piercing blade and remained alert. Lu Hao walked ahead with his hands in his pockets, calm and relaxed. Don't worry, it's still daytime. Any threats will likely only surface after dark. 267, 268, this one. Yang Xiaosu pointed at a door. Open it, Lu Hao said. Yang Xiaosu inserted the key into the lock and twisted. A soft click echoed. She took a deep breath and pushed the door open. The interior of the room was a pleasant surprise. Yang Xiaosu leaned forward to peek inside. Captain, the room looks really nice. The in-building looked worn and grimy from the outside, yet the room was clean and tidy. The wooden floor was spotless and silent underfoot. The walls looked freshly painted. The bed sheets were neatly arranged and free of strange odors. There's a bathroom too, and hot water. Yang Xiaosu said happily. No air conditioning, but there's a fan. Zhou Ning switched on an iron standing fan, its breeze easing the stifling heat. There was only 1 large bed. We get what we pay for. Not bad. Lu Hao sat down and tested the mattress. Looks like the 3 of us will have to share it tonight. I'll take the middle to make things easier. Yang Xiaosu blinked. We're all sleeping together? Zhou Ning's expression shifted slightly, but she said nothing. She walked to the window and pulled back the curtains. Everything seems normal outside. Everyone is probably hunting for ways to earn points, she observed. Yang Xiaosu pondered aloud. Casino, inn, arena, What other places give points? Check the public channel. People are bound to share information. That's your job, ain't it? I'm going to rest for a while. Lu Hao rubbed his forehead. His mental power was still severely depleted. From his experience, he recovered roughly 1 mental power point every 5 minutes. He would need more than 6 hours to reach full capacity of 100 points. Yang Xiaosu spoke up. Captain, does your head hurt? Let me massage it for you. Lu Hao did not wish to turn down her kindness. I'd appreciate that. Okay. Yang Xiaosu glanced at Zhou Ning, who was focused scrolling through the chat channel. She took off her shoes, climbed onto the bed, and knelt behind Lu Hao. Her fingers gently pressed into his temples. Lu Hao sighed in relief under the soothing pressure. Is this strength okay, Captain? Perfect. You're really good at this. Feeling better? Much better. Zhou Ning glanced up from the chat channel, watching the two with an amused expression. Lu Hao closed his eyes, growing drowsy. Yang Xiaosu's soft voice sounded behind him. Lie down if you're tired, Captain. All right. Lu Hao slowly lay back, resting his head on Yang Xiaosu's thighs. Stay like this, Yang Xiaosu whispered, continuing her slow, steady massage. Lu Hao opened his eyes and looked up at her face. She had removed her face covering. A faint blush colored her delicate features, her bright eyes soft. When she noticed him staring, she looked away shyly. Stop looking at me. Rest. Okay. Lu Hao smiled and closed his eyes, drifting off to sleep shortly after. Zhou Ning watched them for a moment, her gaze lingering on Lu Hao's face, before returning to browse the chat channel. 3 main topics dominated the channel. First, the story of the casino. Word had spread like wildfire about Lu Hao's 5 consecutive wins, steadily raising his bets, and the miraculous tie on the final round that earned him and his teammates hundreds of points. Before Lu Hao, no player had ever left the casino with positive points. Everyone else wound up deep in debt. That included Li Qiandong, leader of the Road Tyrant Alliance, and Zhang Lingxiao, head of the Cyber Iron Cavalry. Even slamming the table in frustration had done nothing. They were chased out empty-handed. Only Lu Hao seemed blessed with incredible luck. He never looked at his whole cards, radiating terrifying confidence. He drove the Black Skull dealer to the brink of frustration until the creature finally refused to play further and had him thrown out of the casino. The most terrifying part is that this isn't the real world. His opponents are supernatural monsters, and in the final round, his 2 female teammates were dragged into the gamble too. Lose, and you die, someone exclaimed. I was standing right there watching. I was a nervous wreck, but he didn't show a trace of fear, as if his own life wasn't on the line. A perfect tie on the final deal, a 1 in 1,000 chance. When the cards flipped open, the Black Skull froze completely. That was absolutely thrilling. His name is Lu Hao. He's now ranked first on the leaderboard with 470 points, ahead of Liang Mingwei. Does anyone know anything about him? What tier is his vehicle? News of Lu Hao's performance inside the casino spread like wildfire along the highway, and other players soon shared what little information they had on him. Many had seen him at the service station, where his vehicle was already a Tier 2 armored RV. He also pulled a high-tier module from the lottery machine. The lottery machine runs purely on luck, right? Could his supernatural affinity be tied to fortune? It has to be. How else do you explain winning every single hand at the casino? Getting a luck-based supernatural affinity is unbelievable luck in itself. Word is, after leaving the service station, he wiped out a small gang led by a man named Biao Ge. Whoa, that's intense. If that's true, Lu Hao's strength is far beyond ordinary. Far more than just ordinary. He's got a Tier 3 heavy-duty armored truck RV, and his teammate drives a Tier 3 off-road vehicle. 2 Tier 3 vehicles. Could they belong to that mysterious gang everyone talks about? No way, that might actually be it. Has anyone seen Lu Hao fight personally? The casino counts. The chat channel was buzzing with discussions centered on Lu Hao, yet concrete details remained scarce, most of it nothing more than speculation. His combat ability was unknown, his luck defied logic. He was suspected to be the leader of a mysterious gang. Soon after, players spotted the Tier 3 heavy truck RV and Tier 3 off-road vehicle parked in the motel lot. If not for supernatural monsters blocking entry, the vehicles would have been swarmed with onlookers. After scrolling through the endless conversations about Lu Hao, Zhou Ning glanced toward the bed. Lu Hao was sound asleep, resting his head on Yang Xiaosu's lap. Even as his teammate, after only 2 days together, Zhou Ning still could not fully understand or read him. His vehicle outperformed others of the same tier, fitted with multiple modules built for both combat and daily survival. The ideal vehicle for surviving the highway wasteland. His base physical stat hit 100, spirit power also 100. He had recently mastered gunfighting techniques and improved at an astonishing pace. Monsters dropped far better loot whenever he fought them. If gunfighting is his supernatural affinity, how did he win every bet in the casino? Could he genuinely be a master gambler? Zhou Ning shook her head, pushing her curiosity aside, and continued browsing the public chat channel. More than an hour passed. A low rumbling sound broke the quiet. Lu Hao opened his eyes, and Yang Xiaosu's cheeks flushed instantly. My stomach growled and woke you up. I'm sorry. Lu Hao smiled gently. It's fine. Your legs must be numb from me lying on them. Not at all. You can keep sleeping if you want. Yang Xiaosu hurried to reply. I'm awake now. It's nearly noon. Let's get something to eat. Lu Hao sat upright, feeling his spirit power had recovered significantly. Resting on the girl's lap had been surprisingly soothing. Should we head over to the RV? There's no kitchen here to cook, Lu Hao suggested. How about these? Yang Xiaosu pulled 3 self-heating meal packs out of her backpack and laid them on the bed, listing the options. Beef brisket tomato rice, sour fish noodle soup, and spicy hot pot. Captain, Sister Ning, which one do you want? These supplies had all been collected by Lu Hao and were quite rare to come by. Which one do you fancy? Lu Hao asked with a grin. Yang Xiaosu smiled shyly. I like all of them. I wish I could try a little bit of each. We can heat all 3 up and share, Zhou Ning suggested suddenly. Great idea. Yang Xiaosu brightened, tearing open the packaging of the self-heating meals. What's the latest news? Lu Hao dragged a stool over and sat beside Zhou Ning. You've become famous. A faint smile tugged at Zhou Ning's lips. Everyone's calling you the god of gamblers, the top player on the leaderboard, the mysterious gang leader, and the man the Road Tyrant Alliance failed to recruit. Lu Hao let out a helpless laugh. Where did the man the Road Tyrant Alliance failed to recruit even come from? Captain just likes keeping a low profile. Otherwise, all 4 major gangs would be lining up to recruit you. Then you'd be the man none of the 4 big gangs can get, Yang Xiaosu said as she closed the lids on the meal packs, watching steam rise. They'll be ready in 10 minutes. Zhou Ning chuckled and went on. At first, everyone thought the casino was just a trap to drain points. But after seeing you walk away with over 1,000 points, crowds rushed to try their luck. Business boomed overnight. Most players lost everything, and several crossed the elimination threshold and died. I boosted their business. I should get a cut. And they had the nerve to kick me out. Lu Hao complained. Once I recover fully, I'm heading back this afternoon. Awesome. I'll follow your bets and rack up points easily. Yang Xiaosu cheered. The mysterious gang rumor, Lu Hao muttered thoughtfully. Carrying that reputation makes it nearly impossible to stay low-key from now on. We aren't taking blame for something that isn't us. We need to find a chance to expose them. If I can't stay hidden, they won't get to operate in secrecy either. Sooner or later, we'll draw them out. Are there other ways to earn points? He asked Zhou Ning. Zhou Ning nodded. You can fight supernatural monsters in the arena. Defeat a white skull for 10 points, capped at 10 kills. After that, you fight Tier 2 monsters for 30 points each, capped at 5. Tier 3 supernatural monsters grant 100 points each, capped at 3 kills. The current highest score belongs to Liang Mingyue with 450 points. She made it to her second Tier 3 monster. You still hold first place with 470 points, Captain. The arena has another rule. Players can challenge each other. Battles can be fought inside vehicles, and the loser forfeits all their points to the winner. There's also a place called Gold Rush Amusement Park. Clear it, and you earn 500 points. Dozens of players have attempted it already, and more than 10 have died. How did they die? Yang Xiaosu asked curiously. Zhou Ning spoke calmly. Some died from extreme terror, others were randomly thrown from rides and fell to their deaths. That must have been terrifying, Yang Xiaosu said nervously. That covers the 4 known locations to earn points. The casino, arena, motel, and amusement park, Zhou Ning explained. She added, only half of Gold Rush Town is open. The other half is blocked off. What's on the other side? Lu Hao asked. Zhou Ning's tone turned heavy. Warlord territory. Lu Hao pondered. So passing through Gold Rush Town means we have to cross Warlord territory. A brutal fight is inevitable. The 3 of them all thought of the highway system quest. Optional quest. Eliminate the Warlord Commander. Reward, 1 Tier 4 Fire Core chip, 1,000 points. A Tier 4 Fire Core chip plus 1,000 points. The reward was enormous, which meant the danger would match. A Warlord Commander would command a well-armed force. We can put that quest aside for now. We still have time, Lu Hao decided. Right, let's focus on eating first. Yang Xiaosu lifted the lids of the self-heating packs and leaned forward to sniff the aroma. Smells amazing. Time to eat. The 3 gathered around a small table and picked up their chopsticks. Sister Ning, can I have a bite of your beef brisket? Yang Xiaosu stretched out her chopsticks. Of course. Zhou Ning smiled. Yang Xiaosu took a piece of brisket and offered a portion of her sour fish. Try the fish, Sister Ning. Captain, here's a piece for you too. After passing the food over, she blinked, glancing at the spicy hot pot in Lu Hao's bowl. Lu Hao automatically picked up a meatball for her and a shrimp slider for Zhou Ning. They abandoned formalities after that, eating from their own bowls while sharing bites from one another's. Before long, all 3 self-heating meals were finished. Phew, I'm stuffed. Yang Xiaosu flopped back onto the bed, a satisfied smile on her face. Zhou Ning wiped her mouth with a tissue. What's the plan for the afternoon? The casino? Lu Hao nodded. Definitely going back. I'm almost certainly on their blacklist now, so I need a disguise. Let's test how sharp those skull creatures are, see if they recognize me. He quickly changed into new clothes scavenged from monster drops, jeans, and a plain white shirt. Yang Xiaosu's eyes lit up. Wow, Captain looks great. I'll change too. She switched into a white t-shirt, keeping her denim shorts. Standing beside Lu Hao, they looked just like a young couple out together. Lu Hao glanced at her. You don't need a face covering. Pass me your mask. Yang Xiaosu hesitated. It's been worn by me. It should be washed first. Lu Hao took it directly and smiled. I don't mind. No unpleasant scent. That means you keep good hygiene. Yang Xiaosu's face burned. Don't sniff it like that. Zhou Ning watched them with a soft laugh. I'll leave you two to it. I'm heading to the arena to scout things out. Message me if anything comes up. She walked straight out of the room. Yang Xiaosu hurried to call after her. Sister Ning, don't misunderstand. This isn't a date. We can treat it like one, Lu Hao said, stepping out of the room. Yang Xiaosu smiled shyly and hurried after him with quick steps. Moments later, the pair left the motel. No rush. Let's walk, Lu Hao suggested. All right, whatever you say, Yang Xiaosu replied quietly. The main street of the town was still busy with vehicles and wandering pedestrians, so they did not draw unusual attention. No sandstorms chased them, no supernatural monsters lurked to attack. Everything appeared strangely peaceful. With new clothes, a masked face, and without his heavy armored RV, none of the other players identified Lu Hao. Yang Xiaosu, who had kept her face covered before, now stood out. Her sweet features and slim figure drew countless stares. The casino was not far from the motel, roughly 3 kilometers away. Lu Hao and Yang Xiaosu strolled slowly, arriving at the casino gates after half an hour. Sleeping peacefully on Yang Xiaosu's lap had fully restored part of Lu Hao's energy. His spirit power now stood at 50 out of 100. Enough to work with. He took Yang Xiaosu's hand and walked toward the entrance. Fortune manipulation activated. Guards stood posted at the casino doors. To avoid trouble, Lu Hao activated his ability. He silently focused his thought. Don't recognize me. Don't recognize me. The white skull guards on either side of the doorway remained motionless, letting them pass inside unhindered. We made it, Lu Hao smiled. Xiaosu, stay close to me. Bet the same amount I do. Xiaosu? Xiaosu? Huh? Yang Xiaosu snapped out of her daze, still distracted by the warmth of his hand holding hers. What were you daydreaming about? Lu Hao tapped her forehead lightly and repeated his instructions. Yang Xiaosu's expression turned serious, and she nodded firmly. Understood, Captain. Good. Lu Hao scanned the casino interior. Few players remained, only a handful lingering at the tables, still unwilling to accept their losses. His gaze settled on one table. The skull dealer there looked noticeably less alert than the others. After entering Gold Rush Town, Lu Hao realized skull monsters varied greatly in appearance. They differed in height, bone thickness, skull shape, eye socket size, and nasal cavities. The dealer at this table was missing 2 front teeth. It looked comical enough that Yang Xiaosu struggled not to laugh. The table hosted Sick Bow, the dice gambling game. The rules matched standard Sick Bow. 3 dice were shaken inside a cup. The simplest bets were big or small, paying 1:1 odds. Triples, known as leopards, offered higher returns. A specified triple such as 3 ones paid 100 to 1. Any random triple paid 20 to 1. Players could also wager on the total dice value for varying payouts. 2 players sat at the table at that moment, having lost 2 rounds in a row. I refused to believe it. The last 2 were small. This one has to be big. Yeah, it's definitely big. That's why I'm betting small. Lu Hao stifled a laugh, patted their shoulders, and whispered, watch your points carefully. Don't let desperation take over. The 2 men jolted. Their hands froze mid-motion before they could place their bets. That was a close call. Thanks, mate. You saved my life. Grateful. They turned and fled the casino without looking back. Hiss. The white skull dealer snarled at Lu Hao, clearly angered. Missing 2 front teeth robbed the snarl of all menace, making it look ridiculous instead. Yang Xiaosu pressed her lips together to hold back laughter. Quit hissing. I'll play against you. Lu Hao pulled out 100 highway coins. Yang Xiaosu laid down 100 highway coins of her own. The flame burning in the skull's eye sockets flared brighter. Its anger faded as it gestured toward the dice cup. Lu Hao nodded. You may begin. The white skull dealer gripped the cup and shook it rapidly with surprisingly practiced movements. Thud. The cup slammed onto the table. Hiss. The skull signaled that bets could be placed. Lu Hao paused briefly, then slowly closed his eyes, his hand holding the highway coins hovering above the table. Yang Xiaosu copied his posture without thinking. Bet big. Bet small. 3 twos. The strange sight caught the attention of other players nearby. What's the masked guy doing? Placing bets with his eyes closed. That girl is with him, right? Are they new here? 100 highway coins. Betting blind. This is pure recklessness. Hiss. The white skull dealer let out an impatient sound, urging them to hurry. Lu Hao set down his coins and opened his eyes. Captain, you bet on a triple. Win, and we gain 2,000 points. Yang Xiaosu said excitedly. Lu Hao reminded her. If we lose 2,000 points. Yang Xiaosu blinked nervously. Then we'll be in terrible trouble. Lu Hao teased her. It could happen. Are you scared? Yang Xiaosu gripped his arm honestly. Yes. Other players had gathered to watch. When they saw their wager, they looked at the pair as if they were doomed. Betting on a triple? 20-1 odds. It's more like 20 deaths to 1 win. Are these two here to amuse everyone? Placing bets blind, they must be out of their minds. In every spectator's eyes, Lu Hao and Yang Xiaosu were as good as dead. The moment the cup lifted, elimination beams would strike them down. What a waste of such a pretty girl. Did they come here planning to lose together? Someone muttered. The white skull dealer grew visibly excited. It opened its tooth, gapped jaw, and gestured toward the dice cup. I'm going to lift it now. Lu Hao gave a slight nod. Open it. The skull rubbed its bony hands and carefully lifted the cup, revealing the 3 dice. Every onlooker craned their necks. The next instant, eyes widened in shock. 3 sixes. A triple. It's actually a triple. They won. Unbelievable. That's 2,000 points. He's even better than Lu Hao. A new god of gamblers is born. Lucky break. It's nothing but blind luck. They gained 2,000 points from this round alone. That should push them into the top 2 on the leaderboard. Let me check their names. Several players opened the highway system interface. The first place name remained unchanged. Lu Hao, 2,470 points. Wait. No way. You're Lu Hao. Shock rippled through the crowd. They could hardly believe what they saw. He had cleaned out the casino that morning, gotten banned and chased out, only to return wearing a new disguise. This round was even more extreme. Together, the pair won a total of 3,800 highway coins, equivalent to 4,000 points. What unbelievable tactics. Hand over the winnings. Ignoring the noisy crowd, Lu Hao collected his original 200 highway coins and faced the white skull dealer. The 4,000 points have already been credited. You still owe us 3,800 highway coins. Don't try to cheat us, or we'll tear this casino apart. The white skull dealer stood completely stunned. Not only its teeth chattered, its entire skeleton rattled. The flames inside its eye sockets flickered wildly. Then they sputtered out into 2 wispy plumes of smoke. The bones clattered and collapsed into a pile on the ground. The spectators fell silent. He literally shattered the monster from shock. Sharp hissing noises erupted moments later. Hordes of white skulls rushed toward them. Leading the pack was the black skull dealer from earlier. It glanced at the pile of broken bones, then sized Lu Hao up and down. Everyone here saw it. It fell apart on its own. This has nothing to do with me. Lu Hao pointed at the table. Triple, 20-1 payout. You understand the rules, right? Leopard, 20-1, got it? Inside the casino hall, Lu Hao stared at the black skeleton croupier. He'd slain countless skeletons out in the wild, so these undead creatures looked no different from resource packs to him. After seeing so many, he even thought they looked somewhat agreeable. What's more, he was certain these skeletons wouldn't attack. At the very least, they would abide by the rule of honoring bets. The black skeleton parted its jaw, and the flames flickering inside its eye sockets surged rapidly. Lu Hao worried for a moment it might self-detonate on the spot. Thankfully, it calmed down after a few seconds and waved one hand. A chime sounded from Lu Hao's wristwatch, a payment notification. Account balance, 27158. Lu Hao smiled in satisfaction. Thanks. The black skeleton croupier's skull darkened. It pointed toward the main gate and let out a snarl. Get out. Lu Hao let out a helpless chuckle. Don't be like that. I've only played 1 round. I haven't had my fun yet. I just got lucky this time. I might lose all my points back to you on the next bet, right? Flames burst violently from the black skeleton's eye sockets, shooting straight upward. Everyone finally witnessed what it truly meant to see someone fly off the handle. The flames nearly reached the ceiling. Then the black skeleton croupier waved its limbs wildly, its jaws clicking open and shut, producing a series of clattering sounds. "Look how riled up he is. He's almost able to speak," someone laughed. "He's rattling his bones. I can't understand a word, but I'm sure it's cursing up a storm. He must have recognized Lu Hao. He thinks a new outfit will hide his identity." After its frantic gesturing and raving, the black skeleton croupier stamped one foot to finish its outburst. It snarled once more, and every skeleton in the casino moved to drive all the players outside. The players grew agitated. "Hey, what's this about? We didn't do anything. We want to keep gambling. You can't handle losing seriously." Bang! The casino gates slammed shut without hesitation. The players who'd been forced out stood dazedly outside. Then they turned as one to stare at Lu Hao. Lu Hao blinked, let out two awkward laughs, and turned to leave. He muttered as he walked. "Terrible casino. They kick people out once they start losing. Shameless. A place that only swindles players' points deserves to close down. Xiaosu, let's go find somewhere else to play." "Understood, Captain." Young Xiaosu lightened her pace and followed. The other players. "Oh, listen to him. Can you believe what he's saying? This is just like eating someone's food then smashing their pot. The casino wasn't cheating anyone. You were the one who cleaned it out. Too much. This is outrageous. You're the shameless one." Moments later, the public chat channel flooded with complaints. News that Lu Hao had returned to the casino under a new appearance quickly shocked everyone online. The Gold Rush Arena. It was a space larger than a basketball court, built like a Roman Colosseum. The arena was split into two sides, with 8 entry tunnels on one end. If players wanted to fight, they only needed to scan their wristwatch against the white skeleton guard. Once they stepped inside, supernatural monsters would emerge from the tunnels opposite them. Multiple players could enter at the same time. Some form of spatial overlay existed within, so competitors would not interfere with one another. Defeat a level 1 white skeleton for 10 points, maximum 10 kills. Defeat a level 2 black skeleton for 50 points, maximum 5 kills. Defeat a level 3 golden skeleton for 100 points, maximum 3 kills. At that moment, Liang Mingyue, leader of the Red Flower Society, had just finished her battle. She crushed a golden skeleton's skull beneath her foot. It drew exclamations from the spectators seated around the arena. Liang Mingyue is incredible. She's taken down 3 golden skeletons already. She truly lives up to her title, the Ice Flame Queen. Her vehicle is an armed helicopter, and her transcendent sequence is SS, rank Ice Flame Queen. Even Li Qiandong can't beat her. No wonder she ranks first in overall combat power. Liang Mingyue walked out of the arena and took a drink handed to her by a young girl. She asked casually, "Xiaoman, where do I stand on the rankings now?" The girl glanced at the scoreboard. "You have 650 points. Let me check. You're in 3rd place." Liang Mingyue nearly spat out her drink. She wiped her mouth and asked again, "3rd place?" "That's right. Lu Hao is still first," Xiaoman said with a gentle smile. "Still him? How many points does he have?" "Who's second?" Liang Mingyue pressed. "He has 2,470 points. Yang Xiaosu is second with 2,200 points. Over 2,000. Liang Mingyue's eyes widened in disbelief. "That's impossible. How did they manage it?" Xiaoman quickly skimmed the chat channel before answering calmly. "They won big at the casino, playing dice." Lu Hao placed bets on leopard rolls with his eyes closed, and Yang Xiaosu followed his wagers. They started with 200 highway coins. Leopard pays 20 to 1. They won, and the casino shut its doors because of him. Pure luck on his part. Pure luck. Liang Mingyue did not know what to say. She had fought 18 matches here, battling from level 1 all the way to level 3 monsters, only to earn 650 points. Yet this Lu Hao had effortlessly won 4 times that amount at the casino. He'd even pulled his teammate up to 2nd place on the leaderboard. It was infuriating to make such comparisons. Where was the fairness? "Are you upset, leader?" Xiaoman's tone remained calm, unwavering. "Stay composed, or it will cloud your judgment. Are you planning to challenge Lu Hao and take his points? Don't act rashly." Liang Mingyue took a deep breath. If it was nothing but luck, he wouldn't be worth my challenge. Investigate him first. Find out what he's capable of. That's the right mindset. Xiaoman smiled faintly. "Will you keep fighting?" The only opponents left are level 4 supernatural monsters, worth 200 points each. "Would you like to rest first?" she asked. Liang Mingyue thought for a moment. "I'll take a break." "Tired already? Maybe we could talk and unwind." Peerless Ice Flame Queen. A rough, teasing voice drifted over. Liang Mingyue did not bother glancing his way. She said coldly, "Li Qiandong, if you want to find out what it feels like to be frozen solid, keep running your mouth. Li Qiandong let out a loud laugh. My firepower is overwhelming. I'd be happy to test that ice of yours. Oh, ice. Blue flames flickered to life in Liang Mingyue's palm, her face hardening with killing intent. Stay calm, leader. Private duels are forbidden inside the town. Besides, fighting him achieves nothing. His point total is negative, Xiaoman reminded her. Liang Mingyue clenched her fist, extinguishing the blue flames. She nodded toward the arena entrance. Hurry and farm points then. I'll be waiting to take them from you. Li Qiandong snorted. Afraid I'll beat you? You've only fought level 3 monsters. Watch me bring down a level 4. Heh. A cold snort cut through the air. Li Qiandong spun around. Ludaming, what are you snickering about? Looking for a fight. Ludaming was tall and lean, a sullen look on his sharp face. He said darkly, I don't waste words on someone with a negative point score. Li Qiandong's eyes blazed. You. In the next instant, his muscles bulged, tearing his shirt. His skull elongated, and his skin turned purple. Transforming on the spot, growing a pointed skull and purple skin was Li Qiandong's signature ability. This was his transcendent sequence, purple giant transformation. His body nearly doubled in size, muscles rippling beneath violet skin, his head sharply tapered. Onlookers might have found the sight comical, yet everyone knew how formidable he truly was. Liang Mingyue looked on with disgust. He looks like a giant purple yam. Revolting. Li Qiandong's jaw tightened. He stared at Ludaming with open hostility. How many points do you have? 300. What of it? Ludaming stood his ground without fear. Li Qiandong flexed his massive chest muscles. Let's see how confident you are when I issue a challenge. Ludaming lifted the corner of his mouth. I decline any challenge from you. Li Qiandong turned and marched into the arena. Mark my words. Once private combat is permitted, I'll wipe out your frenzy gang first. Moments later, his voice echoed out from the arena. I'll fight 10 at once. Meanwhile, inside the arena grounds. Swish. Zhou Ning severed a golden skeleton's head. Confirming her victory, she slowly sheathed her armor, piercing blade, and walked out of the arena. Captain, the arena opponents aren't too tough. I've reached 650 points. Next I can attempt level 4 supernatural monsters for 200 points. No one has dared challenge them yet. Liang Mingyue and Ludaming are around the same progress. Li Qiandong just entered the arena. Zhang Lingxiao isn't here. Word is he headed to the amusement park. How are things on your end? She sent a private message to Lu Hao, then leaned against the arena wall to wait quietly. A reply arrived shortly. Zhou Ning opened it and saw a newly created group chat. Zhou Ning blinked in surprise. You registered a guild? She knew registering a guild unlocked group messaging features. She read the group chat name. Hao Su Ning. Lu Hao. Xiao Su. Changed the group name. It sounds like a toothpaste brand in an electronic shop. Yang Xiaosu. You told me to pick one, Captain. I just put together the 3 of our names. Lu Hao. Yang Zhou Lu sounds better than this. Yang Xiaosu. Alright, I'll submit a request to rename it to Yang Zhou Lu. Lu Hao. Xiaosu. I said it's better than Hao Su Ning, not that it's a good choice. Yang Xiaosu. Oh right. What should we call it then? What do you think, Sister Ning? A faint smile tugged at Zhou Ning's lips as she typed. Yang Zhou Lu, Yangzhou Road. The line, the beacon fires burn along Yangzhou Road, comes to mind. Beacon fire. Yang Xiaosu. Sister Ning is so knowledgeable. So our team name is Tiger Might Team? Lu Hao, Tiger Might Team? Are you serious? Walking along the town street, Lu Hao could not hold back. He tapped Yang Xiaosu lightly on the forehead, helpless with laughter. Tiger Might Team? It's barely better than Blossom Team. Do you want other players mocking us? Yang Xiaosu held her forehead and stuck out her tongue. Then what should we pick? Lu Hao thought for a moment. Let's go with Beacon Fire Team. Yang Xiaosu nodded eagerly. Great. I'll tell Sister Ning in the group. Zhou Ning sent another message. Are you coming to the arena? Lu Hao replied. Not for now. My point total is far too high. All the top competitors will be lining up to challenge me. You should head back too. Zhou Ning understood. Vehicles continued to travel along the streets. The town was vast, yet players had very few viable locations to visit. Aside from the several zones where points could be earned, most buildings were charred or collapsed, unfit to stay in. The air constantly carried a stench of burnt debris. Staying inside vehicles was far more comfortable. Some players chose to rent rooms at the inn, aiming to collect 100 points. Based on the current leaderboard, 100 points was enough to secure a spot within the top 1,000. The casino was no longer an option. Lu Hao had forced it to close. The arena meant constant fighting. The amusement park was extremely dangerous, randomly flinging visiting players through the air. Still, many believed there were more ways to gain points, so groups wandered the town searching for opportunities. As for the sealed warlord territory on the far side of town, many suspected it held the greatest dangers. Overall, this was the calmest stretch since they arrived. Lu Hao and Yang Xiaosu returned to their inn. Halfway down the second-floor corridor, a figure approached. More accurately, it drifted toward them. A young girl in a white dress, long hair flowing, bare feet hovering above the ground, gliding slowly forward. Captain, look. Her feet. Yang Xiaosu gripped Lu Hao's arm nervously. Is she a ghost? Lu Hao halted his steps, staring at the approaching girl in white. He already had a pistol ready in his hand. The girl in white met his gaze, her large eyes clear and bright. Lu Hao loosened his grip slightly and murmured, "Eyes that beautiful can't belong to a ghost." The girl in white seemed to hear him. She stopped directly in front of him and smiled. She turned to Yang Xiaosu and said earnestly, "I am not a ghost. I am human." Yang Xiaosu blinked. "Oh, I'm sorry. It's fine." The girl glanced at Lu Hao once more and drifted past. Lu Hao watched her departing figure, deep in thought. "Captain, look. She has tiny wings on her back. They're adorable," Yang Xiaosu exclaimed. Lu Hao nodded. "That must be how she floats. Those wings might be her vehicle." Yang Xiaosu looked shocked. "It can work like that. The highway world is full of strange wonders. Nothing is impossible," Lu Hao said. He himself possessed infinite synthesis. People unlocked a transcendent sequence at level 1, so he could accept others having unusual abilities, as long as their powers were not completely overpowered. A thought crossed his mind. He called out to the girl in white. "Miss, what's your name?" The girl paused, turned mid-air, tilted her head, and spoke softly. "Why? Do you wish to claim me?" Yang Xiaosu's expression turned odd. "That's extremely direct." The wording carried a strange undertone. Lu Hao smiled. "That's not my intention. If I'm not wrong, you're Qin Zhaozhao." "Yes," the girl replied quietly, just as he suspected. The woman two major gangs had fought each other over. "What do you want?" Qin Zhaozhao asked. Lu Hao smiled gently. "Nothing much. You should avoid wandering around. The Road Tyrant Alliance and Frenzy Gang are searching everywhere for you. They cannot catch me," Qin Zhaozhao said, then drifted away. Lu Hao let out a quiet chuckle. They truly can't. Her vehicle is attached to her body, and she moves erratically through the air. If she hides, tracking her down would be nearly impossible. So that's Qin Zhaozhao. She's gorgeous, like an otherworldly fairy, untouched by grime. Yang Xiaosu sighed in admiration. Once the girl in white vanished, the two entered their room. Zhou Ning had not yet returned. "Captain, I'm going to take a shower," Yang Xiaosu said. "Go ahead." Lu Hao sat down on the bed and massaged his throbbing temples. He had won a massive sum at the casino, but it had drained his mental energy more than ever before. A full 40 points consumed. Mental energy. 10 out of 100 now that the tension faded. He felt worn thin. "My mental gauge is nearly empty. If only there were potions to restore mental energy. I have to wait a long time to recover naturally. I can only rest it off for now." He did not push himself further. He lay back on the bed and quickly drifted off. Half asleep, he felt his head gently lifted and rested on something soft. A faint light fragrance drifted to his nose. A pair of soft hands pressed lightly against his temples, massaging slowly. That feels nice." Lu Hao sighed contentedly and shifted his head to find a more comfortable position. Yang Xiaosu's hands froze as she massaged him. She stared at where his head rested against her thighs. "Captain, really?" She bit her lower lip. Fresh from her shower, her cheeks flushed pink. The door creaked open, and Zhou Ning stepped inside. She paused at the sight unfolding on the bed. "Sorry, it seems I arrived at a bad time." Yang Xiaosu flushed even deeper and hurried to explain. "Sister Ning, it's not what you think. Captain has another headache." Zhou Ning closed and locked the door behind her. She looked at the sleeping Lu Hao and spoke softly. This ordeal drained him heavily. "Take good care of him. I'll go shower first." "Understood, Sister Ning." Yang Xiaosu nodded and continued massaging Lu Hao's head. 3 hours passed. Lu Hao slowly woke. He saw Yang Xiaosu half-slumped beside him, his head still resting on her thighs. Zhou Ning sat on the sofa, scrolling through the public chat channel. She lifted her gaze. "Awake? How do you feel?" "Much better." Lu Hao sat upright. 3 hours of rest, paired with Yang Xiaosu's soothing care, let his mental energy recover quickly. Mental energy, 50 out of 100. Yang Xiaosu stirred awake, drowsy. "Captain, you're up?" "Ah." Her legs had gone numb. "Sorry for resting my head on you for so long." Lu Hao felt guilty and instinctively reached out. "Let me massage them to ease the numbness." His hands settled on her legs as he spoke. Yang Xiaosu stiffened. A strange tingling spread all across her body. She let out a soft gasp. Zhou Ning watched with an amused look. "Wow." Lu Hao realized the awkwardness at once and pulled his hands away, forcing an awkward smile. My bad, that wasn't intentional. Yang Xiaosu's face burned all the way to her ears. She grabbed the quilt and pulled it over her head. Her voice came muffled from underneath. Captain is such a tease. Lu Hao blinked toward Zhou Ning. I genuinely only wanted to help. Zhou Ning held back laughter. Sure, you successfully distracted her from numbness. Now her heart's racing instead. I'm not flustered. Sister Ning, stop teasing me. Yang Xiaosu protested from under the covers. Lu Hao cleared his throat tactically to change the subject. What's the latest situation? Zhou Ning tapped her wristwatch. You're still ranked first, but competitors are closing the gap fast. Is that so? Let me check. Lu Hao opened the highway system panel and pulled up the point leaderboard. He and Yang Xiaosu still held the top 2 positions. Third place, Zhang Xian, 1750 points. Fourth place, Liang Mingyue, 1650 points. Fifth place, Zhang Lingxiao, 750 points. Sixth place, Lu Deming, 600 points. Seventh place, Zhou Ning, 450 points. Who is this Zhang Xian? Zhang Lingxiao and Lu Deming were known to him, the bosses of 2 major gangs. But this Zhang Xian was a name he had never heard before. Zhou Ning shook her head. There's very little information on him. His vehicle and supernatural sequence are unknown, but he's extremely strong. He defeated 2 level 4 aberrations in the arena and cleared the place. Someone spotted him at the amusement park, so he must have completed that challenge too. Zhang Xian. Yang Xiaosu pulled back her blanket, checked the private messages on her wristwatch, and spoke up. He's the one who paid us 20,000 for a level 3 fire core crystal. He also said he wanted to meet and share some intelligence with us back then. So we've crossed paths already. Lu Hao nodded in realization, then murmured. Anyone who can clear both the arena and the amusement park is no ordinary foe. His vehicle is at least level 3. We need to keep an eye on him from now on. Arena clearance gives 950 points, and the amusement park awards 800 points, right? He asked. That's correct, Zhou Ning replied. Did Liang Mingyue also go to the amusement park? Lu Hao asked next. No. She challenged Li Qiandong in the arena and took all his points, Zhou Ning said. I see. That Liang Mingyue is truly fierce, Lu Hao chuckled. Zhou Ning suddenly added. Speaking of her, she's publicly declared she wants to challenge you. Lu Hao's smile faded. Crazy woman. Captain, can you beat her? Yang Xiaosu asked out of the blue. Lu Hao knew a fair bit about Liang Mingyue. After a moment of thought, he said, if she stood still and let me aim, I could land plenty of shots and overwhelm her. So that means you can't win outright, Yang Xiaosu giggled. Lu Hao looked at her with a grin. Still sore from earlier? I can help stretch your legs again. No thanks. Yang Xiaosu quickly ducked back under the blanket. Zhou Ning smiled softly and remarked casually. If Liang Mingyue pushes too hard, I can handle her. Her tone was light, yet brimming with unshakable confidence. Lu Hao suddenly suspected this woman who had awakened the heavenly bat shadow supernatural sequence might be far more powerful than he'd assumed. I have my own advantages too. If we fought seriously, the outcome wouldn't be set in stone. My gunfighting technique will give me much better odds once it advances to Tier 2. If I can upgrade my vehicle to level 4 and obtain a combat-type supernatural sequence, tomorrow I'll head to the arena for real combat practice and raise gunfighting technique to Tier 2 first, Lu Hao thought to himself. Dusk was falling outside. According to the hotel's rules, anyone who left the premises would forfeit their chance to earn the points. Click. Zhou Ning flipped the light switch, but nothing turned on. Power outage. The electric fan ground to a halt as well. Darkness swiftly swallowed the room. Lu Hao opened the door and saw the corridor lights were also dead. Doors from other rooms creaked open one after another. No power in your room too? Nope, mine's out as well. This lousy hotel. How are we supposed to stay without lights at night? If it's just a blackout, getting 100 points for one night's stay might still be worth it. I can't stand this. I'm going to find the front desk. Someone grabbed a flashlight and stormed toward the stairs. The others stayed in the corridor, waiting for his return to find out if it was just a circuit fault or a permanent shutdown. But they waited a long time, and the man never came back. Tension thickened in the air. Did he run away, or meet some misfortune? One person stammered. Someone should go check downstairs, another suggested. Sure, you go then. I'm not taking that risk. Lock your doors and don't wander around. We might not even know what kills us. Bang. One player slammed their door shut. One after another, doors closed, leaving the corridor quiet and empty. 2 doors remained open, Lu Hao's, and the one directly opposite. A young woman in a white dress hovered off the ground, her feet not touching the floor. Qin Zhaozhao. Qin Zhaozhao stood in her doorway, suspended midair. Beneath her long skirt, her small, pale feet were visible. Lu Hao looked at her and smiled. So you're staying across the hall. Are you alone? Yes, Qin Zhaozhao replied softly. She turned to go inside, then paused halfway through closing her door. Do you have any soul crystal shards? She asked abruptly. Soul crystal shards? Lu Hao blinked and shook his head. I don't. Qin Zhaozhao fell silent for a moment before continuing. If you come across any, let me know. I'll pay a high price for them. All right, I'll keep an eye out, Lu Hao said. Thank you. Qin Zhaozhao slowly closed her door. Lu Hao glanced both ways down the dark corridor, found nothing amiss, and shut his own door. The room sank into complete darkness. Yang Xiaosu sat on the bed, shining a flashlight toward him. Captain, is everything all right outside? She asked. A player went downstairs to look for the front desk, but he hasn't returned. He either fled or ran into trouble, Lu Hao explained. That sounds terrifying. Yang Xiaosu pulled the blanket tighter around herself, her voice trembling. This is only the beginning. Worse dangers are still ahead, Lu Hao said. Yang Xiaosu's face paled. Captain, don't scare me. Lu Hao ruffled her hair. Don't worry. I'm here, and our team also has our capable bat ally. Zhou Ning shot him a glance. Correction. My supernatural sequence is called Heavenly Bat Shadow, not Bat Ally. What a wonderful name, Yang Xiaosu praised. It really is. Xiaosu, what's the name of your supernatural sequence? Lu Hao asked. Yang Xiaosu said earnestly. Cosmic Invincible Supreme, Ho-E Divine Archer. Lu Hao stifled a laugh. Short version. Shadow Archer, Yang Xiaosu mumbled. Lu Hao chuckled, and Yang Xiaosu laughed along. Yang Xiaosu hurried to defend it. It sounds like some beauty filter skill, but it becomes extremely powerful later on. I can strike someone down just by shooting their shadow. Oh, that's genuinely formidable, Lu Hao said in surprise. Zhou Ning grew interested. At which tier do you unlock that ability? The damaging effect activates at tier 2. Hitting the center of a shadow's forehead guarantees a kill once I reach tier 3. I don't know what abilities unlock after that, Yang Xiaosu answered. I'm nearly at tier 1 maximum. I only need 9 more points, she added. Lu Hao and Zhou Ning exchanged a look, excitement clear in both their eyes. This was an incredibly overpowered supernatural sequence. Killing targets by striking their shadows left almost no way to defend. Who would stay vigilant against an arrow aimed at the ground? There was no doubt. Shadow Archer was undoubtedly a double S-rank supernatural sequence. Our Xiaosu is amazing, Lu Hao praised her. Our team's top long-range sniper will rely on you for distant eliminations, Zhou Ning added. Pleased by the compliments, Yang Xiaosu broke into a bright smile. By the way, who were you talking to at the door just now? Zhou Ning asked. Qin Zhaozhao. She's staying across from us. She's looking for soul crystal shards. Have either of you heard of them? Lu Hao said. Soul crystal shards. Zhou Ning shook her head. She had never heard the term. Neither have I, Yang Xiaosu chimed in. Lu Hao set the thought aside. Information on unknown materials could only be uncovered once they found one. It was simply a matter of luck. And luck was something he had plenty of. Zhou Ning walked to the window and pushed it open. A frigid wind carrying a faint burning scent rushed inside. The temperature is dropping. Everything looks normal outside. Lu Hao stepped over and saw vehicles occasionally passing along the street. No aberrations roamed the streets, and there were no strange noises. If we have to, we can jump out the window and escape, Lu Hao suggested. It was only the second floor. With their physical capabilities, jumping down would be effortless. That's a relief, Yang Xiaosu exhaled. Lu Hao closed the window, blocking out the bitter wind. It was not long before they noticed the room felt colder than the outdoors. We're already below 0, and the temperature keeps falling, Zhou Ning stated. All three could withstand the cold for now with their physical stats. But the temperature kept plummeting. Minus 10 degrees Celsius. Minus 20 degrees Celsius. Frost coated every wall. The room felt like a walk-in freezer. Yang Xiaosu struggled the most, with an overall physical stat of only 60. Wrapped tightly in her quilt, she shivered, teeth chattering. It's so cold. I feel like a frozen skeleton, hee. She laughed at her own comment. Lu Hao smiled faintly and opened the highway system trading platform, hoping to find someone selling primary gene potions. Nothing available, Zhou Ning said, also checking. I should have helped Xiaosu raise her physical stats earlier. This is my oversight, Lu Hao said regretfully. It's fine, Captain. No one could have predicted such sudden freezing. Yang Xiaosu stammered through chattering teeth. None of them had anticipated this. Extra blankets would have helped if they'd known. The temperature is still dropping, Zhou Ning frowned. Lu Hao could feel the chills seeping into his bones as well. Yang Xiaosu was growing drowsy from the bitter cold. Zhou Ning thought for a moment, climbed under the blanket, and pulled Yang Xiaosu close. Yang Xiaosu quickly warmed up. Phew, You're so warm and comfortable, Aining. Thank you. Zhou Ning smiled. Eat something to regain body heat. I have chocolate. Great. I love chocolate, Yang Xiaosu said happily. Zhou Ning tossed a piece to Lu Hao. Have some. I stocked dozens of chocolate bars in my inventory. Good planning, Lu Hao commented. After eating the chocolate, all three felt slightly better. Still, the temperature continued to drop. Rapid footsteps echoed from the hallway outside. I can't take this anymore. It's freezing. Is this a hotel or a giant freezer? Why risk my life for 100 points? I'm out of here. One after another, players chose to abandon the reward and fled the hotel. Not everyone possessed high physical stats. Without proper insulation, the extreme cold could prove fatal. As temperatures sank even lower, even Lu Hao began to struggle against the chill. Zhou Ning fared better under her blanket. Seeing Lu Hao rubbing his arms to stay warm, she offered, "Come under the blanket. We can share warmth together." "Right. Join us, Captain." Yang Xiaosu popped her head out and said, "Won't that be awkward?" Though he spoke that way, he quickly climbed under the blanket without hesitation, then added with a grin, "Sharing warmth makes it easier to bear the cold." Yang Xiaosu and Zhou Ning fell silent, glancing at each other.